No.
I mean, in my
Everybody
tweets,
will just get a notification that we went live now because it was supposed to fucking say 1, but for some strange reason it says 2:15 because I was fucking tired because we have so much good entertainment. Welcome, everyone. We are here to talk about. If you guys don't know, me and PB actually have a show we've never talked about here on a channel. Maybe PB we should do like a review.
we've never talked about it outright where it was the main topic of conversation.
I think we've brought it up. I think it's come up, but I don't think we've ever discussed Yellowstone, which, for all intents purposes, hey there, little dictator.
Hi,
Dad. For all
that's what it says.
We both liked Yellowstone. This was a weird show, and I kind of want to give.
I loved Yellowstone. I didn't just like it; I loved Yellowstone.
I give you guys background of how weird of a show this was. This was a show that had potential that was not ruined, at least in my humble opinion, by even the writing. I would say this is a very strange case of a show where the creator and the lead, let's arguably say the most important piece of your show, leaves it. And they kind of had to scramble. And to this day, there's been a bunch of reports. I've heard in the past Kevin Costner is fucking hard to work with. That's just a rumor that's been around for years. And him and Tyler Sheridan had a falling out, and it fucked the ending of the show from all accounts. And so you could tell, especially the final season, and we even said, like, I think we talked about this off stream. Part 1 of the final season was fucking phenomenal. And then part 2, it's just like, it took years to come out. There were rumors whether or not Kevin Costner was going to come back, or if he was going to be in a scene, if he was going to finish it off. They couldn't.
Packing what?
Or stuff. That's an offline issue.
I mean, that sounds like she's prepared for some Resident Evil stuff, and she's packing.
Hopefully not. But anyways, so it was a weird show to where this isn't a Game of Thrones situation where everything went wrong, at least in my mind.
No, there's a difference between being disappointed and disaster.
And I think this was a show where we all knew there would be no.
I wasn't necessarily disappointed with the finale, like the one individual episode that is the finale. I wasn't disappointed with that. I was disappointed with the second half of the season because Kevin Costner wasn't there.
And just the lead up to it. Everything you could feel where they had to change things. You know what I mean? It had this feeling of there was a lot of things that were moved around, which really messed up the flow.
Dude, I would love to know what the casting call was like. They're like, okay, we need a 50 to 60-year-old. Hola, Carmen. We need a 50 to 60-year-old white male that looks like Kevin Costner from behind.
And so with that being said, I know a lot of people were disappointed, but it was just because it was a very consistently great show. And maybe me and you one day will go through we'll go through the seasons. We'll be like, season 1, what do we think? Season 2, that kind of a thing, instead of.
Well, yeah, that's going to get through it way faster than being like, let's do every individual episode, which there's like 55 of them, and they're all like an hour or more.
Yeah. So with that being said, you had told me about Marshalls. You're watching that. I'm going to catch up to that, but if you guys don't know, I'm wearing the hat too. And I have a t-shirt. You guys have seen me wear it occasionally on stream. I'm a huge Rip fan, and I am a huge Beth fan. Those were my 2 characters in the show. Casey, I always thought was kind of dull. The brother was good in certain moments. The one who gets killed, spoilers, at the end of Yellowstone, he was okay. I liked him in certain scenes. He played more off Beth, but Beth and Rip, those were my main characters that I loved in the show. And so, of course, when I heard,
I would agree they were my favorite of all of the characters that survived the show.
Yeah, like if they were going to do a spinoff, I was hoping
my list goes Beth. Rip first. Rip is the number one character. Then it was John Dutton. Then it was Beth.
Okay, so for me, surprisingly, John Dutton, Rip, Beth. Just because Kevin Costner, man, his fucking performance, dude. Every scene, you could just tell, like, uh, Kevin Costner commands the screen. Like when he's in the room, it's hard for the other characters to really shine. It's almost like they're more bouncing off of him, and he's in control.
The only, so if we're talking about favorite character, the only reason that Rip is above John Dutton is because when John Dutton goes off the handle, you're getting a verbal abuse. You're getting some verbal smackdown. When Rip goes off the handle, it could be verbal or physical.
Or both.
Yeah, he can talk you down when he's beating your ass.
So with that being said, we are here to review Dutton Ranch, which I gotta say, off
the actual successor to Yellowstone.
Yes, the sequel series, and I gotta say, off the jump.
I mean, that is a good way. That I feel like that is a good way of putting it. Like everybody, like they're all called spinoffs. I get that. But like Marshall's is more of a true spinoff in the sense that it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with it. Whereas I feel Dutton Ranch, being that it's called Dutton Ranch and not Wheeler Ranch, they're going to be referencing a lot of stuff from the previous show ongoing. I mean, they already have. And they already talked about John Dutton. They're already looking into his frickin' or what Annette Bening. I can't remember. Yeah, they're looking into his story.
And the way this kicks off actually makes a true sequel because they are literally on their farm where we left them at the end of the first season. And I hate flashbacks, except for Arrow, I think, is the only one that did them really well because they pertain to the story. But this is clever, too, because it's a sequel in the flashbacks, and it's a continuation or the full-on show in the present day.
So I'm curious as to how much more because when you start the show, it doesn't feel like it's a flashback.
But it is.
Because then they do, the little 6-month time jump or whatever. But then, they go back to it like, 2-3 other times. And I was like, what the fuck are we doing here again?
It's I think and the thing that I like we've said this before too on shows. I hate when they don't. It's a simple little thing, but I like that they give you the time frame back. So they're like, okay, we're back to this time point because we've said this before. We're not dumb. We don't need you to keep on like continuing it, but let us get the aesthetics of the flashback so we know when we're in a flashback versus when we're in present day. And I think a lot of the shows we watched just didn't do that. So you're confused on, okay, what's in the past? What is it? And that was another great thing that Yellowstone used to do. They did the flashbacks, but you can always tell because he changed the color grading, or they tried to make Kevin Costner look younger, or they got it in the way flashbacks. They got the younger actor with the beard, with the fucking porn stash. That guy, I forget his name. He's a good actor, but he was playing the younger version of John Dutton.
The old guy that was in jail?
No, when they'd flash back to like when he was supposed to be in his 20s or something, and they'd had that younger version of him. Like when they were telling Rip's story and stuff, and they had the other actor playing Kevin Costner's role because he was supposed to be like 20 years younger, and of course you can't make Kevin Costner look 20 years younger.
You could, but it's going to be way more expensive than just having another guy do it.
Yeah, so they got someone who looked close to him. So I was watching this, and I like that they're kind of explaining because there is a bit of a gap you can work with because we don't know how long passed from when the show technically was over, how long they lived in Montana doing whatever it was they were doing. Looked like they were happy and stuff because the whole beginning part of episode 1, before we get to the title screen, is them at their house doing their thing, and then they're out in the middle of this field, and then there's a brush fire, They try to grab their stuff, and Beth gets whatever, tells their adopted son Carter, we gotta go. They haul ass. Rip is like, don't worry, I'll be back. Motherfucking the man Rip goes to get a fucking calf in the middle of a fucking brush fire with balls of steel, man.
And, I mean, he didn't. He just went there to check to see if everything had gotten out and found the calf. He didn't. Yeah, he didn't set off to get the calf.
And at first, before we got 6 months later, I was gonna be pissed because I thought they were gonna kill him off because he was all charcoaled and shit. And I was like,
I was just, you know, if I hadn't seen any of the trailers, I'd have been like, holy fuck, we're doing this right off the bat.
I just been like, that's a bold choice, but no, it was a nice little fake out. Of course, we've seen the trailer and we know the title of the show, but it already is cool.
I don't know if it was. I don't think so. If you've never watched anything before and you don't know who Rip is, right? A brand new show to you. I don't think it was meant to be a fake out. I think it's meant to be a setup that this is the type of guy he is.
Okay, so
he's going to go out into the giant ass wildfire to save a calf.
So you think this might be a kind of setup because they want a new artist? Because honestly,
well, you gotta introduce the people to the characters in some fashion. I mean, you can get a sense of the type of person that Rip is in a very minute amount of time. Like you can see him do a thing and be like, "Oh, he's that kind of guy." Whereas Beth, you will not get both aspects. You will get one or the other. You either get the plotting side when she's trying to take a motherfucker down, or the I'm gonna be a bitch right here, right fucking now, and whoop your ass side. Like you can't get those meshed together so much.
That's a great segue because the next scene we do the time skip and we do get not much.
Hold on. Before you go to the next scene.
Yep.
I love that fire scene because the whole time that I've been watching this, I didn't read up on any of it. I did see the trailer. I didn't realize that they were gonna go down to Texas.
Yeah, I didn't either.
The only thing I was thinking, I was like, well, holy shit, Dutton Ranch and Marshalls take place, still in the same valley. These characters are going to be crossing over all the time. Like, how are they going to do this? And then, boom, they're like, yeah, we're leaving Montana. I was like, oh, okay. That was quick.
And I want to say, I think it's a smart move, whether or not I feel Casey is a strong character or not. Apparently, I'm in the fucking minority. There's so many women, dude. I don't know if you know. There's so many women. That's probably why he got his own show. Like that actor. There's so many women who fucking love Casey. I don't know what it is. I always found him like okay. There's moments when he's a badass. I don't know if you could chime in on this one. Like, how do you feel about the Casey? I always thought he was fucking boring. Like after the first season,
interesting.
Kind of felt like he didn't have anything to do.
I disagree. I feel he had more to do the more he got wrapped up into the ranch.
See, okay, so maybe it's because I never found him the most interesting. Let me phrase it that way.
He's not the most interesting.
Yeah, out of all of the characters that had things going on in the background, I kind of get to a Casey storyline and be like, okay, I don't care. Like the most interesting thing was when his wife got attacked and he was dealing with all that. I think that happens in season 2, 3.
I mean, he plays the protector role.
Yeah. And I just don't find that interesting.
It's not overly,
and that's not
he doesn't take it too deep.
Thing or
the only depth that he has to his character is how he plays the protector role. And before there was a lot of defending for pretty much all of Yellowstone. It was defending until you get to the end, and then he goes on the offensive.
See, I found more interesting was Jimmy.
Jimmy's way more interesting character.
Yeah, like he was my favorite side character.
Jimmy's probably
because he comes off as a dumbass, but it's almost too like he's a lot smarter than people take him for. And I always find those interesting when you have the role of the most unassuming like character who gets their ass kicked. I don't know, maybe like a good underdog story, but Jimmy and just his whole arc throughout every season, I always found infinitely more fascinating than watching like Casey or the others. And then Beth, what we got to say about Beth? Just Beth's that bitch. Like I'd marry her.
Well,
I would actually say I am marrying her. Actually, Bitchy did watch some of this. She's got to watch the rest of the seasons, but she watched some of it, and you can guess who her favorite character is. I don't even. I don't think I gotta tell you.
am I supposed to guess right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I presume her favorite character is Beth.
She knew and I was rewatching it today. The first episode when she walks into that boardroom and she starts fucking dressing down all the dudes and
Talking
then
about in Yellowstone?
yeah, when he
Okay.
wouldn't sell his land or sell his shares or whatever, and then he calls her a bitch, and she goes, "I think you mean to say something else," and like stands over him. I was like, see, we always get this bullshit, right? Strong female leads are needed, right? Independent women. You can write those. Beth is a perfect example of a well-written, strong, independent woman who doesn't take shit from anybody and yet is still vulnerable. So now continuing it in this show and why I went on, because I'm going to do a lot of compare and contrast on this because I think spoilers, I think so far this show is great. But I want to keep my rating a surprise. So anyways, this show I like because if you're coming in fresh, you kind of get reintroduced to these characters. But this is not the same Beth we had in Yellowstone. So when she meets, I'm going to say the antagonist of this season, the Annette Benning's character, they're back and forth. I love how you could see her restraint because Beth back in the day would have fucking torn into her, but she just gave her a sly, I'll cut my own cattle. And she's like,
I mean,
like when she was like, I'll tell you what it is, fucking extortion. But it's like, just looks at her like you could tell. This is what we talk about with like acting, right? There's so much said in their looks because she kind of Annette Bening gives this look because we come to find out later Annette Bening is apparently not a person to fuck with either. But she looks and she's like, oh, this one might be feisty kind of a look. And just their interactions. And can we talk about the cat? Oh my God, they got Annette Bening. Like, dude, the fucking cast they got in this show is Ed Harris, Annette Bening, Michael Jai Courtney.
dude,
I was saying the dude
Ed
from The
Harris
Collector is in here.
Ed Harris is looking old.
But yet, he seems to fit this so well. And we'll get to Ed Harris because he doesn't come in yet. But I love it because shout out, they mentioned the Navy. Yes, finally, Navy getting love. When I saw that everything, I was like, I got another favorite character. Like you didn't even have to put Ed Harris in the role. That's just a bonus. Like,
I mean, I just assumed he was going to be playing a bad guy, and then he wasn't, and I was like, oh.
I can't wait because considering how they appear to be lining things up, I want to see like if he's gonna have action in the show. You know what I mean? Because Kevin Costner had an action scene, and he's like fucking in his 60s or 70s now. So Ed Harris could do it, man.
An action scene.
Yeah, the season where he went after the dude who kidnapped Casey's son, and they had that big shootout with the crazy Native American guy.
Oh, shootouts. I don't consider. Well, I guess shootouts can be an action scene, but if you're just
You still
standing
got
there
a gun and shit.
I
mean,
guess
you can do it behind the cover.
that's fair.
I mean, but yeah, Beth and Annette Benning's character is called Beulah Jackson. So she tries to get Beth to sell to her, and she says no, and she thinks, oh, I'm going to tell her to fuck off. Basically, she's going to have no choice but to come back, and she doesn't know Beth. So Beth just walks out. So that was a good scene. Normally I don't like this shit, but there's a little interesting subplot here with Carter, who is, if you guys don't know, from Yellowstone, the adopted son of Beth and Rip, and he goes to school, and this
as
is
a 19-year-old.
Yes, and he meets these bitches in school, and the one
He's
chick
got the hots for the one chick.
Yes, and thank goodness. I thought this was going to be a stupid thing where he was going to keep on pursuing her, but no, we're going to get, I think, who's going to be his love interest going forward.
The woman asked me, she goes, "Oh, something bad's going to happen. You think something bad's going to happen to him?" And I was like, okay, well, obviously with the way that you're asking it, you do think that something bad is going to happen, like a la Carrie. Like they're gonna totally humiliate this kid. And I was like, no, I mean, I guess something bad did happen, but it was pretty minor. Like they just used him. There was some light using.
I like this too because they're not making it a highlight. It's more of a like C plot, and it's fascinating. It's interesting to see. He very much is a lot like.
Okay, so if this is my question for you, if Carter is the C plot, because I 100% agree with that, is the A plot Beth and Miss Rio Paloma? Or is the A plot Rip and his two cowboys?
I would almost say Rip is the B plot because he kind of folds into
right now they're directly connected once we get to that point.
Yeah, so and that's the great. This is where you could tell. God, we talk about this. Don't you miss this, PB? Good writing. There's some times where you could see divergence, but the important part of writing.
How I when I got to the end of it and I was like, wow, this is written really great. And the reason I know that is because I'm asking questions about what's going to happen instead of asking questions about what did happen. Like there was no, well, how did this person get here? Well, how did this fucking work out? Like all of those types of things. It's like, ooh, where is this going to go?
And the way that they seem to converge everything, even if we'll get to episode.
I do find it interesting that both shows kill a character off immediately. Granted, the character that was killed off in this show, I feel is less important. Whereas like Lee Dutton dying is the reason everything fell apart in the Yellowstone.
Yeah, so they do a lot of parallels. I wanted to talk about that. They did a lot of parallels to Yellowstone. For instance, also in this episode, we get a very familiar scene if you guys watched Yellowstone. And I knew I saw it, so I tuned up Yellowstone episode 1. So if you watch episode 1, it begins with a horse being killed by Kevin Costner. The end of this episode, you think Beth is going to kill a horse. And she pulls out her gun or whatever, but then she saves the horse. I don't know how, and maybe I'm reading we'll see as the series goes on, but I feel like that's a metaphor because it was a metaphor in Yellowstone, like this kind of old horse stuck in its ways and it gets killed off. You can kind of relate that to the end of the series with Kevin Costner's character dying and, you know, the old ways kind of dying with him, that sort of a thing. And this one felt like a renewal, like the younger generation, the people after him are kind of trying to preserve this way of like preserving the land and carving out their own path, that kind of a thing. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, you know, being
no, I wish I was a better wordsmith, because the way that they parallel each other, in the sense that obviously when it happened to John Dutton, it was part of the underlying story that you're not supposed to know at this point yet. Like it was intentional. It wasn't just an accident. Whereas this one, from what I can understand, it was 100% an accident. Like this horse was in the field and they hit this fucking post and it flew into the horse. Like total accident. Nobody was doing it on purpose. But like you said, the the way that they both deal with the trauma, because she was just about to be just like her dad, like, oh, there's a hurt horse, we gotta go kill the fucking horse. And then she's like, yeah, it's not as hurt as it could be.
And even you could play that scene 50-50 because you could theoretically, and even Ed Harris said when he got there, like, dude, this horse is fucking done. But she just knew. And it's always, and it's so clever writing. I love that they got new writers, but these writers seem to understand that's the most important part. Like understanding the characters. It's in her character to be defiant. And when people tell her the odds, like, this doesn't look good, she makes the odds work in her favor. That's her character. That's what she does. And it's also I could see that they're going to do a thing with Beth with her kind of fighting. She's fighting right now her nature. She's trying to be calm and at peace. I even think in the episode she mentions she's trying to be mellow. And I have a feeling, and I think because of Annette Bening's character, that is going to end real fucking quick. Because we could already see the escalation that's coming. And I'll get to the end of the episode because we're almost there. But she's trying to be a different calm person. Even when she basically tells Annette Bening to fuck herself, she does it in a very calm way. Not a normal Beth
Dude,
way.
I could not believe in that scene, especially once she made the decision to walk out. I thought for sure, like the way that Beth does stuff, I thought for sure she was going to light a cigarette inside and then walk out.
Yeah, but no, she's trying something different. She's trying to
Did she smoke any cigarettes?
I mean, maybe
do you remember seeing her?
There's been this weird thing about smoking in shows. I don't know if that's
I don't know. I just want to know.
Or...
Did you see her smoke in them 2 episodes all? Because don't remember seeing it.
To be honest with you, I don't remember because I was rewatching it, and I don't think I seen her.
I wouldn't be surprised if she's like, I got my fill of smoke in the fire. I don't need to smoke no more. She's the type of person that would make a decision based on something like that.
Yeah, I even in the beginning, I don't remember seeing her smoke. So maybe we'll get some. Maybe this is part. You could tell she's trying to change based on the events of what happened last season. She had to kill her own brother and stuff. So she's still working through this, and I think she was like, okay, all the grimy shit I did, that's in the past. We're in Texas. New start. We're trying, they got this adoptive kid, and they're trying to do right there. So it's very interesting to see this shift in her character. And you could still see shades, and I'll talk about episode 2. You could still see shades of when that streak she has comes out, but it's very little. But we all seen the trailers. And I especially like that scene where they show Beth and Rip walking away from a fire. So some shit's going to go down where they're like, okay, we got to fuck people up. But right now...
Yeah, I'm sure it has to do with the everything that kicks off from that guy being shot.
So, yeah.
What a fucking scene that was. Like, the dude is all fucking strung out, coked out, and whatever, and... I was like, holy fuck, he didn't answer fast enough, and that's what got him shot? Like, all he needed to say was no?
Dude, so let me talk about this. I think the next person who's going to be a standout in the show, you could always tell those actors that come in and bam, they immediately start
about Captain Boomerang?
Yes. Michael Jai Courtney. He was in a great movie. Maybe we'll do a watch along. It's called Dangerous Animals, where he plays a psychopath.
I didn't watch that one yet.
Oh, it's a great movie. And he plays a psycho very well.
I know what it's about. I watched the trailer.
And so when I didn't know the casting. I don't know if you knew. I didn't know who was in the show for Ed Harris.
I had no idea who was in the show other than the 2 main characters.
I knew Ed Harris was in it because I saw that, but I didn't know about anybody else. So Michael Jai Courtney said,
I wasn't even 100% that Carter was going to be in the show until he was shown to me in whatever
original actor, isn't it? From the end.
It's still the same kid.
Yeah, it's the same actor. So that surprised me too. And dude, So first, I was shocked seeing Michael Jai Courtney, but then we get that whole tense scene, and the way he plays it, and this is what I'm saying. He's such an underrated actor. He is extremely underrated. The way he plays this scene, I figured when they brought that guy in the middle of nowhere, they were going to shoot him. I didn't think it was going to be that quick. Like,
no, I also didn't think that it was going to be. Oh, I'm going to take this guy out here, and I'm going to threaten him. And if it doesn't work out the way that I want to, I'm going to shoot him. And then he shoots him, and he's like, "Well, we can't leave the body here." And I was like, "Then why the fuck did you drive to this spot?"
So,
and guess what? It's not a pothole. The dude is strung out on cocaine. He don't know what the fuck he's doing.
And if I remember correctly, no, that isn't the scene. We'll get to episode 2. That isn't the scene where he fucking left again. Because this poor bastard.
Oh, that was fucking hilarious.
Dude, yeah, we'll get there. So, Jai Courtney kills him. And then, what happens next? I'm kind of blanking. Okay, so, we cut to Carter, and he's going to the rodeo, and we kind of touched on this, but yeah. Carter likes this girl. She seems popular. She's got this really bitchy friend. I like the friend. I have a feeling they should. I think they're going to bring those characters back. The friend is a real bitch, and the girl seems like she might kind of be interested in him. But the best friend is all like,
oh yeah, I mean, they're definitely doing the trope of the girl who is attracted to the guy, but can't act on her feelings because her friends don't like the guy.
Yeah. So, finally he asked her to the rodeo. There's this big rodeo. They go there. He's supposed to meet him. He gets the tax. He brought like flowers for her, whatever, and she takes them. And then
right, I was like, oh, what a fucking guy.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, so this is going good. She left the friends behind. Maybe they're gonna get a little something going on, and then there'll be friction with the friend group. So he was like, nope. She goes, can you go get me some drinks? Has her meet.
Like, I don't know. I'm not 21. She's like, you'll be fine. Look at you.
And he gets the drinks, and then
he gets 2 6-packs.
Not just 1, 2. Yeah, that got me too. I was like, if that was just for them, was he like a 6-pack for myself?
So like when you're buying, obviously he doesn't know. He's just a kid. When you're buying beer, you only want to buy so many beer at a time. Like even if you're buying it for like you and a couple of people, you don't want to get more than 2 beers because it's going to get warm.
Yeah, so he's a little inexperienced. Goes and the group of friends are waiting. They all take the 6-packs. Don't even fucking invite them to the party, dude. That would have pissed me off. I'd be like, no, give me my beer back,
dude. Right? As soon as they're like, thanks for that. See you later. I'd be like, I bought the beer for me and the woman.
He could fight. He's been trained by Rip.
He grew up on the Dutton Ranch, man.
Yeah, but he lets it go, whatever. He's a little distraught, and then we get the actual love interest. And I'm going to say right now, the actual love interest, I just said high school girl. So there's this girl.
Say that again?
The actual love interest, the rodeo girl.
What did you say about her? You said something high school?
The other one was the high school girl he has a crush on, and then the rodeo chick who definitely go after her. She's been around. He's better off going for the older girl.
she's Deb's daughter.
Yeah, we'll get to that in the next episode because that reveal isn't until episode 2.
Makes me want to rewatch One Tree Hill.
So he sees this girl, and this is where you see the traits he gets from Rip, because it reminded me of what Rip would do, where this guy is first verbally abusing this girl. And,
well, they showed us that he's the best cow wrangler.
He is
3.9 seconds.
And so they're first verbally going at it. She ain't putting up with his shit, and then I think she pushed him or something, and he hauls off.
Yeah, they get out of the freaking truck or whatever, and he goes and grabs her and gives her a little smack. Carter was like, "Well, that's the end of that interaction."
So Carter jumps in and beats the The dude, 49 seconds was how long he got his ass whooped for. Carter fucking tackles him, jumps on top of him, and this dude is not. He just got done wrangling a fucking steer, so he's a pretty strong dude. And Carter blindsides him, smart move, tackles him from the side, fucking punches the shit out.
You're gonna be smacking a woman. You don't deserve to be not blindsided.
I believe in fair fighting, but I also believe with pieces of shit like that, fuck them. Kick them in the nuts, spit in their face, fuck them. That I do like that shit. So I got a funny story to actually go along.
I thought that he was gonna like take at least a swing at the cop because you don't know who's necessarily getting you from behind, right? So it's like poof, but no, the cop took him down and he's like, oh, I guess I'll stop.
Well, he's no stranger to being arrested too. He's been on the Yellowstone. Right.
He's like, well, I already made it bad enough. I don't need to make it worse.
But I got a funny story with this, which kind of brought up flashbacks from my past. One time when I was in the service, I was in the bar. It was me and my chief, a couple of friends of mine, and there was this dude, and it was the same kind of situation. We were all out drinking, enjoying our break time before we had to go back to our ship. We go into the small bar. There's this country guy and this lady. I could tell because he had the accent. And he was getting wild with his girl, and everybody was looking around, the kind of uncomfortable thing. And then he smacked his girl in front of me and everybody else, like just open hand, bam. And my chief was from North Carolina. Southern gentleman, one might say. And he goes up to the guy and he goes, I'm only going to tell you once, apologize. And the guy proceeded with the F you, who do you think you are? Keep in mind, we're all dressed up in our uniform. And so the guy decides he's not going to apologize. My chief goes up to him and just kicks the ever-living shit out of his ribs and then punches him in the face, knocks the guy down. And of course, the dude has friends. We all stand up because we know what's going to happen. And we get into a big fucking bar brawl. The cops come, the whole 9 yards. Point of the story is, all the guys out there, all of you people who are gentlemen or whatever, there's a line where I feel like, especially if you see somebody doing shit like that, you should stand up, you should say something, because that shit isn't right. That shit shouldn't be done in public or in private. It's disgusting behavior, and it shows a bit of cowardice. I don't know how very many people are raised, but I was raised that you never put your hands on a woman ever. And that it really shows the character of a person. So relating that to this episode, I think this is a good way for people who haven't watched Yellowstone or are just coming into this show and they don't know the character's traits of Carter, who was raised by Rip and Beth, a strong male role model and a strong female role model, both who don't take shit from people and have some kind of a moral code, a thing that they live by. And I think this is a good way to show how his character picked up from his father, that you don't hit a woman and treat her like shit. And this was a great scene to me because it showed that this dude outweighs him by at least 100 pounds or so, and is a pretty big looking dude. And without even thinking about it, he goes in, swoops in, and stands up for this girl who's being hit in front of him. So it's a good scene. We don't get the resolution until episode 2, which I'll get to. And then this episode ends with the horse, which we talked about, and we go into the very end of the scene. Rip is riding around and he finds the body that the Michael Jai Courtney's character killed, half-ass buried on his land. And so this we don't get a really good sense of until the next episode we'll talk about. But this is kind of connecting how I think these two are going to meet or clash. But Rip moves the body. Obviously, if you guys don't know Rip's character from Yellowstone, he was a fixer. And he could tell that whoever did this did a shitty job. And so he's like, fuck that, because if they find a dead body...
They didn't bury him deep enough to keep him away from the fucking hogs.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's thinking, like, if they find this body on my land, this shit isn't going to look good, especially considering their past and all the shit they're connected to or not connected to. So
well, I assume he's the type of guy, he's like, I know I didn't kill him, but somebody else put this body out here, so I'm just going to get rid of it so ain't nothing come back to me.
I also assume, too, it's more of a don't ask, don't tell kind of a thing. He's like, these guys did a shit job.
He's like, this is somebody else's business with the dead body, and I ain't going to be a part of it.
Yeah, and so you see him remove the body, and this becomes a plot point.
Little did he know. Right, now it's a plot point. Now he's in it.
So let's just talk about this first episode and how we feel. Negatives, I gotta be honest, I rewatched. I was searching in my heart and soul to find the negatives here, but I guess if I'm gonna nitpick, like really nitpick, much like Yellowstone season 1 and that first episode, as great of acting as it is and everything else, bit slow, everything's still kind of setting up. It doesn't have that fast-paced kind of minute-to-minute action you get as the episode go along.
I mean, when you start watching Yellowstone, you're pretty much just watching life on a ranch.
What I'm saying is it's a slower build because it feels like, well, you're essentially setting the characters up in a new place. We're establishing new people, new side characters. This is essentially a new.
And like I said earlier, you gotta introduce the characters to people who've never watched before.
And it's also, I think the clever thing. I tried to do a negative, but then all of these this just shows how good the show is, because I'm more on positives here than I am on like overwhelming negatives. You know what I mean? Every time, this is a show that works for me in reverse, because every time I try to find a negative, I just swing back to, but this sets up this. So like, is it a negative? I'm just going to tell you my initial rating that I landed on for episode 1 was an 8. And it's only because I want to give myself room to go up higher.
I also gave it an 8.
And I feel like
it's real good. To answer the question in the thumbnail, yes, it is worth the watch.
Yeah, definitely check it out. It sucks you in right away. I think doing the flashback was very jarring and good, and it gets you like, oh, okay. And then we do the 6 months later time jump. So there's so much room in there, so you can build out these flashbacks and show us what they're trying to connect and how it's going to relate to the present situation. Everybody is. Do we have a character we don't like? I was rewatching. I don't even got a character I dislike or I think is boring.
No, but we also live in the realm of, if a character is meant to be the bad guy, you can like the character for what they're doing. Like, I don't like that they're a bad person. I would like everybody to be a good person, but being that you're the villain of the show, you're doing an excellent job, Annette Benning.
But there's
I hate when people like, when I had the back and forth with Malotzi, and I was like, wait, so you don't want to watch a show because a dog gets killed in the show? It's like, I guess that's your personal choice, but the whole point is that something dastardly has to be done in order to make these people the villain. They have to do something bad, or else they're just normal fucking people going about their lives.
And I'm gonna say the scene stealer of this episode. I think we'll make a scene stealer of the episode, right? Michael Jai Courtney. Holy fuck, he might be up there when we get towards the end of this series where we're talking about favorite characters. For me, dude,
I'm not sure how much he's going to be involved.
I think we'll get to episode 2, but I think the rehab thing.
I mean, unless they kill off Annette Bening's character, they make it seem like he's going to be gone and away, at least for a while.
I think he's going to be that like wild card they're going to hold in his back pocket. You know how you had those characters in Yellowstone, they disappear a little bit, come back, be important in the later seasons, or they come back at the end of the season and kind of shake it up and be like, oh shit, so-and-so is back, shit's going to go down, that kind of a thing. Sure. But he's the way they introduce him, it's been a while since a character has been introduced for me and just totally shocked me by like their performance. Like, he's only in really a couple of scenes of this episode, and for me, he just steals every scene that he's in. And keep in mind, he's acting across from Annette Bening, but that scene where he's in the kitchen and he's fucking coked out and talking to her,
that was good.
Like, I fucked up. Like, dude, this guy's range is stupid ridiculous. Great stuff.
Okay, so I got family.
Do you have any negatives? Maybe some
family dynamics here. Like, fuck, what did you say her name is? Something Jackson? Beulah?
Beulah Jackson.
She's super white, and she's got one son who's super white and one son who's super Mexican. So how in the fuck did that happen?
They said by marriage. We'll get to that in episode 2. So I'm thinking
she ain't married.
Not now, but he said. That's my
what
father.
I'm saying. Like, I'm intrigued to go back and see some of those flashbacks of how she got to where she is, killing her husbands.
It's some shit. They definitely like, and I want to highlight.
But don't worry, they're not. I don't think, because people don't want to see that anymore. They're going to make it seem like what she did to her husbands was justified. Like, they were such terrible guys. She had to get rid of them. Not that she's evil and power hungry. Like, what a fucking setup that you own 2 separate businesses that are completely disconnected, and you only deal with your one other business. Seems like a great way to hide some numbers.
I really, and I want to highlight that.
If I didn't know any better, I would think that they were in the Ozarks.
I also want to highlight, because I don't want to take away anything from Annette Bening. She fucking kills it. Her acting, dude, you could tell veteran actors, her acting is so subtle, where you get those moments where she plays the subtle, like there's evil lurking underneath.
Dude, the scene in episode 2 with the granddaughter, wow.
Yeah. Okay, episode 2 is where the shit kicks off. I'm sure we're going to land on the same rating on that because, spoiler, I'm sure both our ratings are going to go up. But in this episode, great setup, good stuff. Do you have any negatives before we move on?
From episode 1?
Yeah. I brought up a half-assed.
I mean, the only negative that I have of both episodes that I can think of, maybe if we talk a little more, I'll be able to find another one or something that'll jog my memory, is a little hard to follow.
Yeah,
like,
I can get
right at the very beginning, and they kill the guy off, and then he's connected to this random fucking girl, and I don't know any of the characters' names, so they're just saying his name. I was like, who the fuck is that? Is that the guy they killed? Like, I shouldn't be asking that kind of question.
Yeah. So, and once again, these are the first episodes. These are things that could be cleared up as you go. We could get flashbacks of this guy and kind of show him more how he's connected.
Yeah, certain things can be written in a sense that you understand who the person is without knowing who the person is. Like, in my mind, it just had a scene pop in. Like, I don't remember when it is, but at the big, maybe it's episode 2, maybe it's episode 1 of Game of Thrones, when does he tells Arya to go get her brother, or does he tell one of them to go get his sister? Like, he uses their title so you know who they are. Like, if they would have said, well, just go get Bran, I don't know who the fuck Bran is, but I know, without knowing who Bran is, whenever he pops onto the screen, I'll be like, okay, that's the brother. Like, then you would know.
And I agree. They handled the time jump or the time skip really well. They give us a definite date, but you're right, with the other characters, the way they're introduced, it is kind of like, oh, okay. And then they say their name later. They do that a lot in episode 2. I agree. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, so you're playing catch up. So once again, and keep in mind, folks, these are small things in the episode. Like, we're really reaching here. Like, when your nitpick is, I didn't know who the guy's name was, I'm pretty sure your show's okay.
That's my big problem.
That's more of us trying to track stuff. And you got to keep in mind, too, we have to sit back here and basically regurgitate everything and break it down. And it's easier for us who are diving into it, reviewing, when we're trying to do our review and keeping track of all these fucking characters, because I'm sure we'll have their names down. But to be honest, I've been calling Annette Bening her just Annette Bening instead of Beulah. So
we'll try.
But that's the thing with the name thing. Now that you bring it up to me, it's said in certain places, like, oh, you're just supposed to know the character. They're throwing you into it.
What about, I think the guy's name is Wes. I was like, who the fuck is Wes?
Yeah, I think that's the brother is Wes, I think, too. I'll get to it. See, that's why I've got the synopsis thing pulled up, because like I wouldn't have known any of the characters' names, and I think we'll get it as we go through the show and they're saying their name more, and then we're gonna be like, okay, this character's this character's this. It's not you have to say their name every 5 minutes, but you do have to kind of lead into it, be like, oh, my Forman, so and so. So then we got it in our mind. So, and once again,
right, you can set up scenes to introduce people to other people.
Yeah, and once again, these are small nitpicks, and they're more for a reviewing standpoint, just because we gotta say their names and the characters we like, and it's tough when it's scattered and we're trying to remember the episode itself and the things that are happening within the episode. It gets very tough to follow. So, small minor gripes.
I don't know. So, what is your favorite scene of the episode?
Oh yeah, we didn't do that. So this is tough because I got a couple. But I love the fact that I'm actually struggling to find, because off the top of my head, I got like 3 scenes in my mind. I'm trying to pick which is my favorite.
Okay, tell me the 3.
So the first one would be this, obviously, because I'm a fan of Beth, the scene between Beth and Annette Bening.
Yeah, it's good.
The second would be when Carter blindsides that fucking asshole and beats the shit out of him.
Also real good.
And then the third is the horse scene, because of how it relates to the Yellowstone.
The horse scene was the best one in my mind.
And I would have to still say that I'm going to go, because I'm such a Beth whore, I'm going to go with the introduction with her and Annette Bening. And I like that one slightly because even though I'm a big metaphor guy, if you've been on the show, and I like getting deep with stuff, sometimes I'm a simple whore, and I just love how they
feel like that one scene sets up more of what's going to happen in the show than Rip finding the body or anything else.
I like, and I want to highlight in that scene why it's my favorite. You get to see Annette Bening showing us, especially when Beth says what she says, she gets that. If you rewatch that scene, Annette Bening gets this look in her eye, like she's fucking agitated, but respects her at the same time. And Beth has this look like she's more than she's letting on.
Well, yeah,
and it's all in their face. it's
Beulah looks at Beth like, fuck, that's what I was like 30 years ago.
This is what we're talking about with, like, this to me is pure acting. And like you said the big key thing. You could see all of the setup for the show. And it's not overtly in your face or anything, but it's so subtle. You can see, like, it's going to be these two stubborn, hard-headed, set in their ways women that are going to face off. And then everybody around them is putting these pieces in it. Because Annette Bening, I'm sure, isn't really trying to get into conflict with this ranch. Doesn't sound like in the past, and we'll get into episode 2.
She's just trying to handle her business. But the fact that she has that little bit of respect for Beth, and obviously she knows the Dutton name as soon as she hears it. She's like, oh yeah, that governor that got killed, and then she, does her little research or whatever. Like she gave her a chance, and yeah, it's probably not the greatest deal that she offered her to be like, well, we take part of your cow and we make money off of that instead of just you paying us.
But it seems like, like you said, a show of respect or something. Like, she offered her hand, and obviously that's like, fuck you, because you're smart and not going to take a shitty deal like that. And like I said, really with this scene, it's just the acting between these two women is like fucking phenomenal, because people, especially with visual acting, faces, like emotions, man, like people can convey so much.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand how you can watch a show and decide whether or not you enjoy it when you're on your phone the whole time. Because yeah, I guess there are moments where you could watch and be like, oh, I know everything that happened in the scene because I heard all the dialogue. I was like, yeah, but did you see that look that was given at the end? Because what you think is going to happen is not what's going to happen if you've seen what these people are thinking instead of just hearing what they're thinking. Little difference.
And that's why, especially with shows like this, when I recommend them to people, please, man, don't be on your phone, because this is what we talk about when we highly rate a show or not. The facial acting and the way that characters are moving their bodies, like body movement and body language, could set up so much. And it to me, it's disrespectful to the actors putting in the work, like, you can't see that scene, or you can't hear that scene of Michael Jai Courtney killing someone. Like, yeah, you get the gist of the scene. He shot someone, but the setup to it, how erratic he is. And you're in that moment, and he's like, oh, he's probably going to beat the shit out of him or something. And boom, just shoots him in the head, like, out of nowhere, super quick, random.
I was like, holy fuck, I guess that's the end of that.
And it shows you everything about his character. He's impulsive. He's reckless. He will murder somebody without a second thought. These are all important things to set up the character. And if you're not watching it, you're missing all of these, like, really little key hints and moments. And I actually went to see this movie with the unicorn called Obsession. And I will be making a breakdown probably later today, a full spoiler review of the movie. But a lot of that is physical acting, like, and some noises too. But it's like reading people's faces, and what they're saying is not matching how they look. And it's a part of what you're watching. And I can tell you, though, with that movie, there was not a fucking phone on, dude. That movie is fucked. Such a great movie. If people haven't seen it yet,
do you ever look at your phone when you're in the movie theater?
No. If I'm looking at my phone, that means the movie's not good.
This is me at the movie theater. Get there nice and early. You never know how long the snack line is going to be, and I don't care how expensive it is. I'm having fucking popcorn with my movie.
Yep.
So you got to be able to get all your shit together and get to your seat and fucking be comfortable, and then boom, on the phone. Right up until the trailers for the other movies start. And then that fucker goes on vibrate, and it goes in the fucking pocket. And if I feel it vibrate, I go, okay, I have to check my phone when I leave the theater. Not, oh, I felt it vibrate. Let's pull it out and light up the whole fucking place, because I presume Obsession is a relatively dark movie.
Yeah. That's a mild way to put it. Yes. That shit is That shit is super dark. It's a horror movie technically, but I would say it leans more into psychological than there's a lot of physical horror towards the last half hour, but yeah, it's something else. It might be my weapons of this year. So far, spoiler, my number one horror movie of this year. I don't know what's going to beat it because it's such a great movie, and I'll talk about it in that review.
You need to get a notebook. Or you need
because I actually got three.
Put a document into your phone so that you can constantly rank them, and then every time that you see a new movie, you say, let's say there's 10 on the list already because you've seen 10 movies. So even the worst one is still in the top 10, even if it was bad because you just ain't seen enough movies yet. And then you go, okay, is it better than this one? 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 And you just see how far up the list every movie makes it when you see it.
Yeah,
because I have a feeling that with how much shit that you watch, because I presume streaming movies that are new still count as going on the list or potentially going on the list.
That I've had to really weed out because Netflix shits out like 5 of them.
It doesn't matter. They can shit out 100 fucking movies a fucking day. You don't have to watch all of them. Your top 10 is movies you've watched.
Yes, but when I do a top 10 list, I like to include or be biased towards movies I've watched in theaters because I'm trying to save the theater experience. And I think the streaming kind of ruins that. And streaming has a different feel. They don't.
Yeah, man. You're telling me that you got a completely different feeling when you watched Barbie in the theater compared to at home?
Yes. That's 100.
How?
The sound is lighter. It's more vibrant. The screen is bigger. You got the popcorn. Going to the movies for me is just a different experience. You know what I mean? It's a different vibe. Like, yes, technically it's not just because it's not at home. It's just the building, I would say, gives it the.
I only go to the theater for action movies.
See, well, you know me, PB, and like I kind of got things personally tied into how I feel about the theaters, and I think a lot of that goes to.
I'm not into movies in general as much as you and Perp are.
Yeah,
like I do love me some movies, and I watch a lot of movies. I don't watch as much as you guys do.
Yeah, it's and that goes down to more personal preference. But as far as this goes. Episode 1, movie quality. Acting was great. My favorite scene was Beth in the office. Yours, clearly, I'm going to say is the horse scene, based on because because you were highlighting that as the best scene of the episode, and I liked the scene between Beth and God. I'm trying to Beulah. Beth and Beulah, yeah, that's such a bitchy name for it. Oh. But yeah, so
you want to know what else I love?
What?
Saving 15% at moviepalette.com, and you can save 15% too by putting in code ZONE15 at the checkout, and it stacks on top of any sales they have going on. You get yourself a quality piece of artwork on premium canvas, guaranteed to arrive before Christmas.
And thank you for moviepalette.com for this year too, that they are supporting your favorite general. And if you want to support General Zod, go there, show him some love. And thank you, moviepalette.com, for sticking with this guy because, gosh, we're an hour in, like, there's some poor bastard who has to review my video and be like, okay, he said it at the blah, blah. So heads up to Mark, the guy who coordinates with me on this, because Mark's job is probably tough. He's sitting there and having to go through half of a review to get to the promo part. We're like, okay, he said it.
Sorry about that, Mark. I meant to get it in sooner, but we got distracted by this fantastic show, which you should also be watching.
Yes. So let's get to episode 2. Episode 2 is titled Earn Another Day. We start with a flashback where Rip is and Beth are purchasing the farm from this older lady. And I kind of like this setup. So just to dig into this, and we'll get further in the episode when we get more clues, but I feel like this ranch has been not a direct competitor, but somebody who's been able to stop the expansion of Beulah, kind of like with like the Duttons. It almost this ranch almost parallels what John was doing with his ranch, where he was blocking all these people.
Well, I mean, okay, I looked at it like this is mom and pop hometown shop versus Walmart.
Yeah, and
like they never got any bigger, but they have the best fucking beef because of the genetics. Like that was the only reason Beulah wanted to buy it, was for the genetics. She didn't give a fuck about the land.
And so I do love that that apparently everybody who is on this, and this is where we meet another character, and I thought, okay, this character was introduced in the first season. I forgot to bring them up. Azul. I thought
you're talking about
the Mexican guy, and then we'll get to the guy from prison. No, Azul was a worker that they promised the old lady they would go and take in.
Yeah, because I guess he was the ranch manager.
Yeah, or his father was, and then he was. Yeah, something like that. We'll get into that. And so they got him, and I love how this is where Jai Courtney and Rip meet each other for the first time, and Jai Courtney's giving Azul shit. And they do the stereotype, but I always liked in the show how when they approach the stereotypes, they write them in a smart way. This isn't that stupid writing of trying to make a statement or whatever. You got some racist fuck. Obviously, Michael Jai Courtney's character is old school a bit, and they're racist as fuck. And he's like, "Come here, boy," and just starts saying the Mexican things and stuff. And Azul walks away, walks out. He's going over to meet Rip. And then, of course, Rip is like, come on, get in the truck.
None of that shit.
Yeah, he starts with the get in the truck, whatever else. And Jai Courtney does the whole gun in his waist. And Rip's like, he does the face like,
another one of these fucking guys.
He's like, yeah, I'm going to have to do something. And right as he goes to pull the gun out, Rip grabs his fucking wrist, like twists it, punches him, takes the gun, takes the clips out, pops the bullet. And he's like, pick your friend up, get him the fuck out of here. Dude. And this was like, I was like, we're back, baby. Like right there. Okay, spoilers first, this episode's a 9 for me. But really, it got the 9 off of this one. Like, I'm also a Rip whore. So I was like, yeah, because so far, Rip isn't doing that much. But I like how they show you these little things in case you don't know.
Rip knows how to deal with women, too. You listen.
You listen. Yeah, we'll get to that. When we go into favorite scenes, we're going to get into that one. But I liked that whole thing. And basically, this is the funny scene we were talking about, too. This was shocked me. There's a lot of funny moments that are very subtle because this poor guy, they had just gotten done half-assed. This guy's with him. He fucking leaves. He's like, fuck this, I'm leaving. And he fucking takes off and leaves the guy at the gas station. And Rip is like, hey, even Rip felt bad. He's like, you need a ride? He goes, no, don't worry about it. I'll call someone to get me. Like, he looks down. He's like,
well, then he gives him the gun back and he tells him to get the fuck out of here.
Yep. And so the guy's like, goes on. I feel like,
I don't know where this gas station is in relation to like the town, because it seems like it's very much on the outskirts, if not out of town. But I feel like this gas station is going to be a very pivotal spot. Lots of people meet at this fucking gas station.
Yes. Everybody this seems to be the place that everybody goes to.
And the real question is Tommy Norris going to show up to the gas station?
Ooh, that would be good. Yeah.
Not that far away.
No, not at all. So, and that's the interesting thing too.
I mean,
with the Texas
they're on land, and he is a land man.
So there is an interesting thing. Now, this isn't confirmed, but apparently there is talks with the show Landman. We don't know. There could be some crossover there. I would like the first season of this to kind of stand on its own, but it would be fucking cool as shit to see Billy Bob Thornton pop here in some kind of like doing a deal.
I don't think if they are going to cross over, do not do it in the first season.
No. Whenever you do a first season, and we've seen this in so many other shows that try to build a show,
I want them to wait until there is like a reason to bring in another character. Like something's got to happen in the story, and someone's going to be like, "I know a guy."
Yeah, like you could have some oil people come in later, like maybe in season 2 or something like that, and then have him come in as the mediator. And he could be like, these fucking guys in Texas are crazy. Yo.
I mean, so what I really want to see, I want to see a conversation between Rip and Dale.
That would be...
Talk about a conversation that will have no subtext. Everything will be out there.
Those are two men that when they talk, there's no... like you said, subtext, subtlety. They tell you exactly what's on their mind and how they're going to handle the situation. That'd be fucking fascinating. But yeah, so we got the gas station scene. After that, we go back to Beulah learning about the body being gone. And she prompts her.
This isn't the type of problem that can be fixed. It can only be buried. That was a good line.
Oh yeah, and we see the second son. We saw him a little bit in episode 1, but this is where he really starts to factor in. Joaquin is his name, and he is. I took him as what the other brother in Yellowstone was before he went off the road.
The Mexican brother is Jamie.
Is the Jamie of the show.
Takes care of finances on the farm.
But unlike Jamie, he comes off to me not only level-headed but more of a badass. Jamie,
ooh, I think that they're hiding. He might be more level-headed in the sense that Jamie has unresolved issues, but I think that they're both going to be the same amount of devious because this guy's like, this guy's cooking numbers. He's hiding bodies. He's doing all kinds of shit.
And so. But he is level-headed in his response where he's saying, like, look, how many fuck-ups are we going to cover up? And I like his character because he's the kind of character who you see it. He's kind of
like Beth in that fashion. Like, Beth is like, we got to get rid of Jamie. He keeps fucking shit up. So he's kind of like Beth in that fashion. If you look at he's got a family dynamic.
Yeah, he's got a little Beth because he's also not how Jamie was, where Jamie just did everything as he was told, kind of, you know what I mean? He was kind of weak. Where this guy is,
at least at the beginning.
Yeah. Whereas this guy comes off as like, he's got that strong, like, hey, like, look, why don't we just like solve the problem? And we're seeing the weakness already. And this seems to be a theme with parenting on this. You ever notice this? They don't want to get rid of the kids. I can relate, your kids fuck up. You got to help them out.
I'm told your child is moving closer to you.
Yes. And actually, this is good in relation to the show. So, people, they make these moves and stuff like that, or they do certain situations thinking it's the right choice. And as a parent, unless they've killed someone, in my opinion, and it's just something you can't fix, which would be this situation, I would say as a parent, you do everything you can to help your child out. That's just the way it goes. Like, once you're in that situation, this is, your offspring. This is your kid. This is...
I mean, holy shit. So go back to the other show, John Dutton was still doing it for Jamie. He's not even his actual kid.
Yeah, when you're a parent, it's just like this thing that like you are there no matter what. With Bitchy, you know, she's very protective of the little dictator. You know, they're not related by blood, but we're together, we're getting married, and she is very protective of her. It's just when you're a parent or a step parent, doesn't matter, when you're taking care of another life, you have a responsibility to clean up their messes and their mistakes as much as be proud of them when they do something right. There's that other part no one talks about where when they fuck up, you also got to be there to help them. You can't enable them. That's a totally fucking different thing.
Oh, I'm totally screwed. I am an enabler.
But you gotta be willing to show them a firm hand or give them a helping hand, right? And depending on the situation, you got to pick which hand you're using. But I
use my strong hand.
But getting back to that scene, I think Joaquin is right. Like, dude, this dude is coked out. He's crazy. Clearly, he's a loose cannon. He's the loose cannon of the show. And you either point the cannon in a different direction or you retire it. And, you know,
not a lot of options here.
So she chooses to point the cannon in a different direction, hopefully to rehab. And so let me ask you, because this brings up a good point. How long before do you think they're going to have him out of show for a bit and then bring him back? Or do you think he's not going to do it? Because the gist I got from the end of this episode was he's already there. Are they going to do another time skip and bring him back? Or are they going to wait till the end of the season?
I don't think that they're going to do a time skip because of everything else that's going on. I think he's just going to be gone for a couple episodes. Now, it is possible that there are interactions that we are unaware of, like how they do the flashback to them buying the ranch. So, you know, we got them 6 months to work with, and they were down, like, after they do the time jump, they're, like, already set up, like they're already running the ranch. I assume that they were there some amount of time before that. So he could have some interactions in flashbacks, but I think that's going to be gone. Or like whenever his family's talking, they can be like, "Yeah, you remember when he did this?" Da, 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 and have flashback.
So yeah, and that will keep the actor in, but save the actor because I don't know. I get the feeling
he needs to be a vital part of the show.
And also to remember in the first Yellowstone, remember the very first villain? I like that actor. I forget his name, but every show he's in, he's always plays the fucking bad guy.
Old guy?
Yeah, he's always the bad guy.
The bad guy from he's the bad guy in X-Men Origins Wolverine?
Yeah.
Right?
He was a bad guy in Origins.
He was Striker
in Crow, which was a terrible movie, but he was good. This dude, when you want to get a good bad guy who has that gravitas, you hire this guy. And remember, in season 1, he was kind of in and out. They hung him from the tree or whatever, but he didn't die. And then season 2, he was and he had to me, to this day, he has the best death scene in Yellowstone. Hands down. I will, because of the way he goes out. And he took some of those guys out. They sent pros after him. And remember, he had just learned how to start shooting. And I thought for sure, and it hit me in the gut. And the dude's a douchebag, but that hit me in the chest where I was like, fuck, he was so close. Like, I even thought, because I was like, he escaped the hanging. So, I mean, and then he makes it out to the patio and he sees the
he seemed like he was the most integrated villain. Like, he had multiple conversations with John. He had multiple conversations with
Native American guy,
chairman.
Yep.
I can't remember his name now. What the hell was his name? Indian.
Chief. I forgot. I was just watching it too, and I just heard his name, but I know that actor from other stuff.
Right. I mean, the second best villain from Yellowstone is what's his face from Walking Tall, the blonde guy. When it's the two cowboys.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I liked Burke. Like, I liked the actor too. He had that going for him. But the when the firm comes in and it's that chick who's in charge or whatever.
Oh, she's
like
too.
Disconnected.
She is.
Like, she was disconnected. The lawyer who worked underneath, like, for them, the guy, he was partially disconnected. Like, you need to have multiple one-on-one interactions with John Dutton in order for me to be putting you up at that level, and they don't at the end of that season, or seasons, really.
Yeah, so that's why he for me always had the best death scene. So relating this back,
not a lot of death scenes in this show.
So far we got one. So, like I said, starting off.
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be accidents at some point.
I'm sure, based on the trailer, we're gonna see many more people that are gonna, start dying and shit being blown up and stuff. Clearly by the trailer. But I also too, call me crazy now because I said
crazy.
This was negative, but also positive. I do like that they're setting this like Yellowstone, where it's building the groundwork and they're moving along the story. And we talked about this. So my biggest issue with Marshall's, it feels edited because it's on another network that's not Paramount Plus. They're kind of doing that weird sharing it thing. Whereas Dutton Ranch is exclusive to Paramount Plus, and you can see the difference. And like, look, I don't need a lot of swearing in my shows and nudity and things like that for it to be good. That's not what the quality is in the show. But in this world, it fits the world because you're dealing with cowboys and ranchers and things like that. And
I mean, when you've been watching the characters for 6 fucking seasons already, and then all of a sudden their vocabulary changes.
It's
like, that's what happened. Casey wasn't dropping F-bombs like every scene left and right, but he'd get 1 or 2 in an episode.
Or bullshit or something. But it's the stupid fucking censor rules. And if I remember correctly...
being that it's network television, you're not going to be dropping an F-bomb.
There's a perfect example. And this was with Walking Dead. They could show people being torn apart. They showed someone getting their head caved in with a bat. But they were only allowed to use 1 fuck per season because it's on AMC. So they had to pick their spots of where they could use the 1 F-bomb. And they introduced Negan. Now, if you guys don't know, Negan in the comics, they had to water him down when they brought him to the show because Negan would use F-bombs, call people pussies, little bitches. And so they were like, bro, you get 1 F-bomb and you got to cut down. So Jeffrey Dean Morgan, being the brilliant actor he was, had to get the feel of the character, but he would use things around the words, or he could use shit more often. So all of the swearing went to his character when he came on because he was the one who would use up their quota the most. Because believe it or not, there's quotas on these shows. Like if you say a certain amount of set things, that's it. And you only get them through a season. It's so ridiculous. But yet you could show people getting blasted away, whatever else, violent scenes like that, but you can't swear. It's like, what? So you could show someone getting blown up or shot or whatever else, but we draw the line at using fuck. Like, no, we can't go that far.
Because they care about censoring TV for the deaf babies and not the blind babies.
But
did I say that? Did I say that right, or did I say that backwards? Doesn't matter. You get it.
You get the very offensive analogy. Anyway, so we talked a lot about.
You should get Paramount Plus to watch this show.
So we go to Rip hires another new character, who might be shaping up to be one of my favorites too. Zachariah. He was in prison. We don't know exactly what for.
Does he remind you more? Who's the old cowboy on Yellowstone?
Oh yeah, that's who I was thinking of. The really old guy.
But I can't think of his name.
Me neither. I'll tell you because I'm going back through and watching season 1 again because it inspired me to go back.
Lloyd.
There we go.
Okay, but this guy is like a combination in my mind of Lloyd and Walker.
Yeah, because he's got that.
Well, he's got the fresh out of prison just like Walker, but he's got the old man mustache like Lloyd.
And he's sort of got that mentality of he's been around. He seems...
Well, I mean, from what I understand, he used to work on the range.
And whatever he's accused of, apparently they don't believe he did it. We don't know what it is. They're probably going to reveal it as the show goes on. But he did something. Half of the people believe he did it. Half of them don't. So I'm very intrigued. And once again, this is all great. This is great setup. Like we talked about how they introduced some characters briefly. We didn't know their name. This character, they very deliberately took their time introducing him. And so... also, too, the writing is pretty, how do I put it? They're not subtle in certain ways as well. Like, I got that very much like, hey, guys, he's going to be important because they show him coming out of prison. And I love the callback to the first Yellowstone of Rip meeting him and asking him the questions like they used to do. Because John used to do that. Remember, he'd go to the prisons and get the people from there and brand them. And so I like that little callback where he's asking him a question and then he makes Rip laugh. Because when he was like, he goes, well, God loves cowboys. And Rip starts laughing and says, get the fucking... get the
Damn right he does.
Get the fuck inside the truck. Like, yeah. It's great dialogue, and this guy's acting. I've seen him before. Have you seen? I feel like I've seen him before. Have you seen this actor before? Because I feel like he's been in a lot of things.
I definitely seen him in something before, but I couldn't tell you what the hell it is.
Yeah, he's just got that face where I know I've seen him in another show, and if memory serves me correctly, he was very good in that too. So, like I said, strong cast. Also, too, I wanted to point out, I forget this actor's name. Hold on, because I'm going to look it up for a second so I could get the actor's actual name. Collector. Here we go. Okay, so, no, that's not it. God, I hate when there's...
Which character are we talking about?
Because he plays the head sheriff guy when the lady goes into...
Oh, the guy with the sunken eyeballs.
Yeah, but I'm trying... The collector, not the... Yeah, 2005.
Dude, I'm not 100%. But I also thought, hey, I know this guy from somewhere. I swear to God, I know him from somewhere.
Okay, his name is Josh Stewart. And he was in the NBC drama The Third Watch.
Never watched it.
Okay, so yeah, I've seen this guy in tons of stuff. He's a very good actor. He was in Criminal Minds. He was in Third Watch. He was in the movies The Haunting of Maui, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Law Abiding a Citizen, The Collector, The Collection.
He was in The Punisher.
He was in The Punisher, too, yeah. He was the main villain in season 2.
Oh, where is he in The Dark Knight Rises?
In Dark Knight Rises, he was one of the henchmen that the rich guy had.
I did watch Shooter, though.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. This guy is a really good actor. Yeah, so that was a crazy... I like him, and I think he's going to be a pretty... You don't get an actor like him. I think he's going to have a pretty important role. I'm thinking maybe he's going to be... Because he doesn't seem like he's in that lady's pocket. And I got the feeling that a lot of those people seem like they are, because but she didn't know that the guy didn't know she went to the police station. So, well, no, because he said, I heard the wife's been, so I think she's got police in her pocket, but I don't think he is. And I'm getting the feeling,
I don't think so. Oh, you're saying Beulah's got the police in her pocket?
I think okay, cool. We're kind of jumping ahead, but I did want to get your opinion on this, because this is just my opinion. I don't know for certain, but the way things are worded in certain scenes, they knew she went to the police department. And so it appears to me, unlike John Dutton, because he had the sheriff in her pocket, I think she's got cops in her pocket. And that this sheriff guy is the only person not in her pocket. And that's why he kept on saying, come into my office, let's talk about it. I got this feeling like he's the guy trying to do the right thing. And I even got a wackier theory that he's going to wind up working with Beth and Rip at some point, because Beth is trained by John, and John always went for the sheriffs. He didn't bribe the deputies or anything else like that. He always bribed the person who was the main person. And I have a feeling they're going to, because of this girl, somehow they're going to wind up getting a sheriff who's going to help them out. That's just my theory. What do you think? Because he doesn't seem like a guy who could be brought, and he seems like he wants to do the right thing. And I just got this feeling that it's going to somehow line up with him working with them.
I would agree with that.
And I 100% believe Beulah's got people on her payroll from that station, because, like, how the fuck did she know that? You know, sure, someone could have seen her go into the police department or whatever, but I just got this feeling, considering all the shit she's done, and how flippantly she's like, get rid of the body, it could be buried. She's got to have people in her pocket, because she's not even worried about it. So, I don't know. I have a feeling that police department's corrupt, and that he's the only one who seems to be, or give off the impression that he wants to do the right thing. So we have that scene that was really good. I talked about Zachariah. So there's a great scene here. Another good scene. Beth and Rip go to this auction to try to get a bull. And this is where we see another bit of Beth, the old Beth, coming up, when it starts with her and Rip, and they make a bid on this cow, and then Beulah sees the bull and she wants it, and they keep on going back and forth. And at first Rip is like, he's kind of like that uncomfortable look, like, honey, why are we fucking paying so much? And then he looks across and he sees her, and he's got a smile on his face, because he's like, oh, I know what's going on here. So like I said, when we were talking about the subtle acting, because he, from what I can see, and we talked about this with plots converging, I don't think Rip's storyline and Beth's has quite converged yet. And Rip hasn't even met this lady, but he could tell off of how she's bidding against this lady that there's some kind of things. And I think he kind of makes a comment like, making friends already, bit, honey, or something like that. Like he says,
oh yeah, when she gets home, we got to find someplace else to take her steers.
Yeah,
problem
he goes,
with management.
Yeah. He goes, making new friends, I see, or something like that. So, and once again, it's a clever way where you still have these plots kind of together, but they're not converging yet. They're just, everybody's connected, and they don't realize they're connected. And I don't even think if Rip did realize, he would give a shit, because he knows how Beth is. So they outbid her, and she's pretty fucking pissed about this. And that's when she looks up information about who Beth is, really digging into it. And this is also the scene where we get more of Ed Harrison's character, and she goes to him to check on the horse, and she tells him about how she needs a place to cut the meat that's outside of town. And he says, I know a person. She goes, well, let's go right now. And he's all like, she's like, I want to. And then I forget what she says, but it was so good, and he smiles. But she says something clever. I gotta watch the episode.
Oh yeah, something happens at the end of that scene.
Yeah, and he starts smiling. He's like, "All right, I'll take you this guy, but you're driving." And we get to learn a bit more. Ed Harris is a war hero. He saved some people, but he doesn't see himself as that way. This scene, you guys know how I feel about these little military and war story stuff. I gotta say, this kind of got me, and the way he talks about. He says he didn't do nothing. He did, and I love that scene because I've been in this situation where you're talking to someone about situations and things you did, and they go, "Oh, that's so fucking heroic," and everything else, and it's like, no, I did what was right. I did some fucking gnarly shit, and it weighs on me. And when she looks at him and she says, "You wear that medal, you wear it proud, and you should be proud of everything that you did. You saved people." And you could see in his face, it's kind of like something you need to hear. And I don't know, man. So you know what my favorite moment's going to be, but that whole interaction just kind of like got me. And this is because it's on a personal level, but like just the talk between her and Ed Harrison's character. Once again, what fucking brilliant acting, man. The acting here. And they're just driving a car, folks. There's no action happening, but it's just these two characters talking. And Beth relates to him because of how her dad was, John. Had a lot of demons, had a lot of secrets when he talked about his war stories or didn't. And you could see the shit weighing him down. And she says something because she can see how it weighs Ed Harrison's down and how he looks hurt talking about it. And she knows just the right thing to say. And it's just because it kind of reminds me of her and her father's conversations. And you can kind of see that also the softer side of her.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So they introduced that one old guy in Marshall's to be the new John Dutton character, and it feels like Ed Harris is going to be the new John Dutton character in the sense of the man with the sage wisdom.
Yes, he's the wise, guy who seems like he's gonna try to hits the fan, try to keep everybody grounded and level. And then we meet the Mexican butcher guy, and I don't know how much screen time this guy is going to have, but I could say right off the jump, I loved his character and the little kid.
I don't see him getting an overabundance of screen time.
No, but this is what I'm saying that I noticed when I said
unless they rope him in and Beulah tries taking over his business or something.
It's just the writing in this show. Once again, the writing, like this character has like 5 minutes of screen time, right? But the writing is so good. You learn so much about people just by conversations, man. I miss this in shows, just interactions, and you get so much from a character who we could never see again. It could be just one time, and then they just mention like, "Oh yeah, I went to the butcher the other day." You know what I mean? But I do you get what I'm saying? I love, like, to relate it to your favorite show, Stargate, right? There's a lot of characters you meet in there. Some you never see again. But when you have good writing...
No, but you will see them again in a different episode playing a different character.
We see that. But it's so great because, like, you could tell good writing because even characters that may not even be directly involved in the story as much as, like, say, our side characters, main characters, the people directly connected to the plot. You still have all of these other characters who could just be like throwaways. We don't even remember the scene, but yet the writing is so sharp and tight that even the interactions with these other characters, like, you want to know more about everybody. Like, who's this butcher guy? How does Ed Harris know? Why is he on the outskirts of town? Is it because him and Beulah had a thing and she didn't want a competitor? Like, he's
not on the outskirts of town. He's in San Antonio. So Rio
He's out of
Paloma.
her jurisdiction.
I thought it was going to be a real place. It's not a real place. It's a fictional town that is an hour north of the border and an hour away from San Antonio. So you can look at the map and you can kind of circle an area and be like, okay, it's in this general area. But it doesn't exist in real life.
But
he's not on the outskirts of town. He's at least an hour away in a relatively large city.
But what I gathered from that scene was it's more of he's out of reach to where they're not directly in conflict of each other, because it seems to me in this town she is the main person, and like you said, the Walmart analogy was great. She's killing off everything that can compete with her, and I got the sense that this guy is just far enough away that she doesn't consider him for now, where he doesn't seem to be in direct conflict with her, so she's kind of just like whatever. She's seems to be focused in taking this town and making it so she is the primary. You buy the beef here, you get it cut here. She does the cattle ranching there. She owns it. She controls it. And it's kind of interesting because it's the inverse of John, because even though John competed with people, he competed with people coming from the outside in, like the big businesses, the corporations. But he, as far as I know from the show, and I'm rewatching it, like smaller businesses, people who were already set up there, he had no beef with them. He didn't want other people coming in, these big corporations coming in and trying to take the land.
Well, that was a good way of putting it, is the villains in Yellowstone were outside trying to squeeze you in, like pin you in so bad that you can't do anything. And she is the opposite. She's on the inside and she's trying to push everybody out.
Yeah. So that's what I mean, dude. The more we talk about it, the more I find how clever the writing for this show is. The people writing this are really good.
The other show is I know they've had a couple of Marshalls. They've had a couple of 2-part episodes already, but it's essentially, issue of the week type stuff with the vague reference to the overlapping story.
Yeah, and
they're looking for bad guys. They're trying to catch a bad guy. They're trying to stop a bad guy. That's what they do in the show. Whereas this show, there is no resolution at the end of the episode.
No, it's more of a continuous story.
Right,
where
you're essentially watching people just live their lives. You're not trying to put a bow on the end of everything because it's not written in that fashion.
Which I'll be honest with you too, because that goes to network television as opposed to, I noticed, streaming. And some people,
streaming is definitely built on watching a season compared to an episode.
Which I guess that depends on how you like watching television. I've really gotten tired of the villain of the week format, we'll call it, where there's one objective, boom, you wrap it up, you're done. I do like continuous storytelling. Now, it's a good and bad thing, because if you're in on the ground floor, it's amazing. But if you're trying to get new people in, if you ain't watching from the first episode, then you kind of get lost. You can't like jump in and on episode 3 and be fine. Whereas something like Marshalls, I feel like you won't get all the nuance, but if you just watch one episode, you get the gist of everything happening in that one episode because it's contained.
No, I feel as much as people don't like them anymore, I feel like superhero shows did a good job of giving you, like Smallville. You have the story of Smallville from start to finish, watching the evolution and the character of Clark Kent turn into Superman.
And
the overarching story. Right. So that's the overarching story. But then intermingled, there is the issue of the week. And I feel like superhero shows do that very well.
I agree.
Whereas, 100%. So like my mother's favorite show, NCIS, right?
I could never get
it. You know what NCIS is.
Yeah, I tried, and it's a naval show.
I like watching the character interactions, the solving the issue of the week. I don't really care about, but just watching them interact, like Gibbs and how he deals with all of everybody individually and has, a little nuance here and there. I like that part of it. But if I'm supposed to believe that a show like that is a real show, right? Like NCIS is based on real life. There actually is an NCIS in real life, right? Agree?
Yeah.
How many fucking murders are there in the Navy every year?
I could tell you firsthand, that's another reason why I don't like the show, because there's not that many murders, guys.
Like, holy shit. I'm watching the show and I was like, another Navy officer is dead? Another Navy officer is dead? They got a serious fucking problem here.
So let me tell you, and anybody who's done NCIS will even tell you too, I think more closely what Reacher dealt with, that is closer to what Naval's investigation unit is. And they were special forces. And there was
big thing happened, and we're going to investigate it for a while instead of every fucking week somebody is being killed in the Navy.
So NCIS deals with criminal activity in general within the Navy, because when you're in the service or when you're doing certain stuff, if you guys didn't know, outside courts, like even if I was in and say I robbed a bank, it wouldn't still be under a civilian jurisdiction. They would have to call in the NCIS to investigate the crime, and then a Navy, they're more like tribunal, would determine your punishment, not a court of law. That's what the NCIS was set up for, because some people who are still in, who might commit a crime, and I don't know if most people know this, you won't be punished under civilian law. You'll be taken back to base and you're going to be handled on the base under the Navy jurisdiction. It's like it's like the thing with the FBI and like say local police, like someone shoots someone, but they stole a bomb, right? And you have that, who has jurisdiction? Well, the FBI outranks the local cops, because now it's become a matter of federal jurisdiction. Like this, once you've entered that bomb, they're going to blow something up, and then the FBI takes over that investigation. Same thing with the Navy. If a person who's still enlisted and they commit a crime, like yes, they did it in the town or whatever, the local police will arrest them, but the military will come in and they'll handle the rest and take it from there. It was kind of like what happened in Paris. The Paris police arrested me, but I was handled by the military. So, and that's international law. I mean, I'm sure if I committed a crime here when I was in, the Navy would come in and be like, we'll deal with it. Don't worry. They'll get the appropriate punishment. And then they would weigh out with their system. And let me tell you, folks, you're not getting a better deal. I'd rather be tried in a public court of law because with the Navy, you do get a lawyer and the whole 9 yards, but it's chiefs and officers that are dealing out your punishment, and there is no group of peers. It's just you and like this panel of high-ranking officers that are going to judge you on your crime and give you your punishment. And it could be go to the brig, you could be demoted, you could go to a brig and then be demoted, you could be sent to this thing where other people fucked up, and there's all sorts of things. So yeah, PB, I agree with you. I did not like the format just because I know how it works. I'm like, come on, guys. Like every week, they should have mixed it up. Do like an arson or someone steals something. That would have made more sense. Or have one murder that's the overarching plot and have these little cases that they're
I feel like they were trying to do that, but they just, you don't reference it enough. Like, he became a U.S. Marshal, so technically now he has the authority to investigate his father's murder. But he's not, because he already knows what happened and took care of it as best that he could.
Yeah.
Like, the overarching thing was supposed to be, well, we're going to figure out and bring to justice the people that killed John Dutton. But I don't see that. I don't see it happening. They just don't reference it.
And like, here's the thing too. We know that Jamie was involved, and of course he was murdered before we could get who the other people were. So obviously he hired people. So then what's the gist? They're trying to find the people he hired to get them? Like,
I don't know. What I do know is Dutton Ranch is an A tier show, and at best, Marshall's is a B tier show.
Yeah, and
which is disappointing because I like Tracker. These shows are on back to back on the same network. I freaking love Tracker, but Marshall's, it only feels like Marshall's might have been a great show if you hadn't watched Casey Dutton for 6 seasons previously and seen how he acts and seen how he talks, and now it's different.
Yeah, so whereas getting back to Dutton Ranch, I don't
exactly the fucking same. I feel like this is exactly, we're just picking up where we left off.
Yeah, it doesn't, you don't feel the switch between shows. And I was telling you, that was what was jarring for me. I watched the first 2 episodes of Marshall's, and it felt so dramatically different.
I like the actors.
Oh, yeah, they got good actors.
I think the acting in the show, some of the writing is a little cheesy sometimes, where it's like, really? You think people would say that in real life in that way? Like the physical situations, the directing, good. Like, it's all good, but it's just not Yellowstone. Whereas watching this, it's like, this feels like Yellowstone.
The writing feels sharp. Things are purposely placed in here. Some things are placed and we haven't seen what their significance is, but you could tell they're planting the seeds for some more stuff to be paid off later down the line. And it's just like night and day between these 2 shows. And I'm really hoping this gets a good following. Oh man, we got on such a tangent, but
it would get a higher following if they would have Beth be like Cassie in Euphoria.
Oh geez.
She could do it. She's not packing quite as much, but she's still packing.
So we get to another great scene I want to talk about here, where finally Beth is like, I have somebody for you, when her and I believe Ed Harrison's character is called Everett, when they get back, she goes, I have someone for you to meet. And so we pick up, they go to a bar to meet. Rip's going to meet Everett for the first time. And I love their back and forth. He's so great. He's like, well, my wife just brought me here to meet you. So and he's like, I just listened to what the woman says, which is a callback to a conversation he has with Carter. And I've left Carter's part out on purpose because I want to talk about this separately as its own thing, because it's very fascinating. They do seem like 2 separate plots for right now till we get the stinger, which I'll get it to. That's why I'm doing them separate right now. Because then we find out, as in good writing, PB, everything fucking converges. Like, dude, the writing on this, can we agree? The writing on this is tight. Like, you don't even expect they're going to start connecting shit like right away. And it's just like, there are good people like just taking this shit scene by scene. And I'm going to give it a high praise for right now. This is very reminiscent to when I was watching Breaking Bad. Like how you could go through episodes and then all of a sudden see these plot points, they converge and then they split up again and then they intersect. It's like top tier writing for this show. But anyways, Ed Harris meets. We thought I'm a little sad. This might be a little nitpick. We thought we were.
Oh yeah, this was the worst part of the whole fucking episode.
We don't get to hear Ed Harris sing. I thought we did, and we know he can sing.
Even the baby was pissed off about
it. So we find out that Ed Harris is familiar with this bar. I guess this must be a local bar everybody goes to, and there's a country singer up there, and she's singing. And then all of a sudden, she invites him up on stage, and they both look.
Hey, that country singer is hot.
Yes, and we get
I'm hoping, could be wrong, that we're going to see the country singer that what's his face is following.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
I can only think of the black guy's name, Colby.
Colby, yeah.
I can only think of his best friend was dating singer chick, and then he's like, "Yeah, I did my Super Bowl. It's done with. Now we're gonna follow your dream." They could show up.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Wow, that just upped the more for me. Everything we bring up, it's instead of being,
what I want is like her. They don't know that they're there, right? They don't know they're there. So she's got to play in and around San Antonio, right? So then he just is like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to this cowboy bar," and then boom, Rip is there. He's like, "Hey, I got a problem that I could use a little bit of help with, and you're a guy I can trust. Look at your chest."
So there's a lot of potential in this show where they can organically bring people back, which I think I have a feeling that right now this feels like they're going to try to do self-contained just to get us familiar with the characters, but there's so much potential.
I don't necessarily want any cameos in the first season.
No, I would like to see this show.
I want to see it stand on its own 2 feet and see how well it does before they're like, "Oh, remember this guy? Oh, remember this guy?"
But I could tell from the writing, and I don't want to call it too soon, but I feel like it can just based off these first 2 episodes because of how strong they are. It feels like good writing. Like they're setting up so that they can write more things in as opposed to they're writing themselves in the corner and they need a cameo to save them from a situation. It feels like
I don't want that to be the case.
Yeah, and right now, just off of these 2 episodes, I feel like they're creating space for themselves. They're writing the characters strong enough to where the cameo that they bring in will be an enhancement to the episode as opposed to, oh shit, we wrote ourselves into a corner and now we need
like the subtle stuff. Like there's most definitely a history between Beulah and Everett.
Oh yeah, because as soon as they mention Beth mentioned something to that,
I feel like there's going to be a flashback of them 2 banging.
I did get, you know what? I thought I was crazy. I did get that feel like there's some kind of. I don't
know, man. Annette Bening looks pretty hot as a cowgirl.
And Ed Harris is looking all right for his age. So
just think of what he used to look like when he was like taking over The Rock.
Dude, there's certain people that just don't age. He's one of them.
He definitely looks older than when he was taking over The Rock.
So
like 30 fucking years ago.
So now we're getting to the good stuff, and I saved this for the ending. Carter gets a thank you because he went to prison or whatever else. The girl helped get him out.
He didn't go to prison. He was put in the holding cell at the jail. And the freaking sheriff comes over and he's like, "I was defending a girl." He goes, "There's worse reasons to punch a guy. Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, and then you find out, we don't know, because I was thinking, and this is so brilliant to the reveal at the end. I was like, how the fuck would they let him go based on what she said? And I thought, that's kind of odd. Maybe she's connected. I was thinking it was the sheriff's daughter angle, and that the guy we saw,
sure,
that was his daughter. So I was like, okay, maybe they're doing the sheriff's daughter trope. And so that's why when she was like, "Oh, he was defending me, let him out of there," they let him out, obviously. And so they go on this cute thing. He goes to school. Once again, girl
She's
being a bitch. And
I thought that she was this nice fucking person and things are going well, and then they get off. They get done with whatever their date was, some kind of date, and she says, "I have a boyfriend." Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, bitch.
Okay, you're jumping ahead. That's the other girl.
Sorry, I'm excited about it because goddamn it. Pissed me off in all the best ways.
First, he has bad luck with the the school chick, and he's like, "Fuck you." He goes outside. He sees, I'm gonna call her the cowboy girl chick.
We already talked about this because it happens in episode 1.
No, this is episode 2 where her name is Oriana. They go on the date. They get flirtatious. She picks him up from the school. And then as they shoot bottles, it looks like they're getting close. They're talking about the situations, whatever else. She brings him back and he's like, hey, when can I see you again? And she looks down at her phone and then she says, oh, I can't. I've got a boyfriend. And I feel like she said that. No, she said that because of the reveal. That's when they reveal later she's the daughter of Beulah.
No, fuck that bitch.
I think she's
toying with the boy's heart. I don't appreciate it.
But I like her more than the school chick. Because the school chick's got that bitchy friend.
See, now the school chick has, but she has room for improvement. Whereas
so does
now they've set blonde girl up to only go downhill because she was so incredibly nice at the beginning. And now things are going to be like, no, I can't see you because my grandma's a crazy fucking psychotic bitch. Okay, whatever. Whereas the other girl was like almost unintentionally mean. Like, obviously she made the choice to do what she did to him, but it wasn't anything that a person wouldn't be able to get over, especially if you can see that the person changes. And from what I can tell, she's got red hair, she got dark hair, whatever. So high school girl is at the bottom rung of her friends group. Like, if she does one fucking thing that they don't like, they will excommunicate her, and then she can go bang Carter.
See, this is interesting because I side with Rodeo Chick.
No, I side with Rodeo Chick now, but I'm saying if we're talking about creating a character's arc, unless you're going to make the character go completely full circle instead of just 180, which most character arcs are 180. You start this way, you end up this way. You don't end up back where you fucking started. There's more potential with high school chick than there is with rodeo chick.
I just got an affinity for crazy women, so
I would agree with that.
And why I would say rodeo chick, because I see the dynamic between Rip and Beth's relationship and how it's going to mirror Carter and rodeo chick, because they both come from powerful families. One is kind of considered, even though Carter, I don't think he's poor, but not as well off as them. It's
meant to mirror Romeo and Juliet,
and it's meant to mirror the mother and the father.
Right? I mean, how they are now than how they were. Well, you got to think that, like Romeo and Juliet, it's two powerful families. Now, obviously, in this dynamic, one family is way more powerful than the other one, but they own a big ass ranch. They got the best genetics in all of fucking Texas. That's got to be worth something. Like that's got a little bit of power behind it. And they're both children of these families. Whereas when Beth and Rip were kids, that's like Aladdin. Like, she was the princess and he was the street rat.
Great analogies, man. Damn, sometimes you knock it out of the park here. Surprise me. Oh, great stuff. So
hold on, I need to make myself feel better.
Damn, I was just going to that. You got it before me. So great analogy, but I still see that these two are going to end up together because of the fact that it's very much like, and I think it's going to be funny when both Rip and Beth figure out who this girl is connected to. Oh, I'm waiting for the scene where he brings her.
Oh, when she finds out, you can't see that girl anymore, Carter.
Or when she first meets her and doesn't know, and the girl gives her sass back, Beth might be like, I like her.
It's definitely gonna. She's gonna be like, it's gonna be similar to how she was treating environmental bitch.
Yeah,
like fucking hated her and now respects her. I think
because of what she did.
It's going to be similar to that.
Because Beth
there's going to be a little apprehension up front, but then she's going to be like, oh, she's a strong fucking woman. And then she's going to figure out where she gets her strength from and be like, oh, we done fucked up.
And it'll be interesting, too, on Annette Benning's part. See, I can see why they're connecting these two things.
Well, it'll be, are they going to involve them with the adult drama or not? Like, if they're this interconnected, obviously both of them are going to have insider knowledge of each person's business.
Which, yeah, that's gonna be.
They're cooking. Fucking Beulah is cooking the books, or her son is cooking the books. Somebody is cooking the books.
Oh, without
that's how the whole thing started. Was you looked at my numbers? Don't be looking at my numbers, boy. Boom! Shot that guy in the fucking head. That was the whole fucking point. Like they are embezzling or tax sheltering or doing something dastardly that the authorities would not appreciate. Or we just don't know exactly what it is yet.
And then
intrigued to find out what it is. I give this episode a 9.
9, definitely a 9. And episode ends with Rip basically doing them a favor, what they should have fucking done because they knew about this mine shaft. Apparently, some people know about.
So the mine shaft is going to be what, like the new train station?
I'm thinking because we've seen clips in the trailer of, I assume, other people going into that mine shaft. So I think that's going to be Rip's new train station.
It doesn't work exactly the same way, though. In fact, it works very much differently.
Yeah, because
I assume at the train station, right? At the bottom of that cliff is going to be a bunch of random bones.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of the bones are going to be gone because they will have been taken by coyotes, wolves, bears, pretty much anything that eats meat. Like a lot of the bones are going to be displaced. So there's going to be random bone from this person, random bone from that person, random bone. In this mine shaft, literally the bodies are just going to pile up. What's going to go in there? Nothing's going to. It's not like a fucking condor or a turkey vulture or something like that. They aren't going to go in there. The only thing that's going to eat these bodies are the maggots.
That's it's very I like it.
I'm not 100%, but I'm relatively confident that at the bottom of the train station there is a river. If the body makes it all the way down, stuff washes away.
So this is a very intriguing setup. There's more of a, let's say, there's more leeway to be caught. It could come up later as a plot point.
Well, it makes me wonder, do they show who owns the mine shaft?
No, at the end they just show him breaking into this place.
Right, like because earlier in the episode they show him pull over there, and they just linger on it a moment longer than what you're expecting, and I was like, okay, definitely a mine shaft here. That cool. Like I didn't know where they were going with it, because I guess I must not have paid close enough attention to the trailer to see they were dumping people in there. But then I was like, holy fuck, that's where he's taking the body? And I was like, it's not going to go anywhere, though.
But maybe because there were I'm
curious as to who owns it.
In the episode, when he was looking for this place, it appears to be a place he found. And so he's got to know something, because one thing about Rip, he's good at hiding secrets. We know this if you've watched Yellowstone.
Yeah.
And he's not going to pick a place where he thinks other people are going to easily find it. And that's always been the brilliant thing about Yellowstone's writing. If I remember correctly, there was only one time they almost got him, and it was because he shot a bear saving somebody. That was like, he's a character that is very meticulous, especially with shit like this, because he's been doing it his whole life.
They made it seem like they were gonna. It made it seem like they were gonna get him with the wolf collars.
Yep.
And they dropped that fucking storyline immediately. They're
like,
oh, John Dutton's dead. Fuck the wolves.
Yeah, that was another clever way, and I think in the original writing there was going to be something to do with that. But yeah, it was very interesting how
right. Yeah, he's good at keeping secrets, because in that whole exchange, like, I'm sure the person who plowed up the field did not know what happened in the field.
No. And I love how they go back. And now I'm wondering, because they were like, the body's missing, blah, blah, blah. Are they going to figure out Rip was the one who got rid of it and be like, hey, you did us a favor? You know what I mean? Like question him about it and be like, are you using this as a bargaining chip or whatever else? And just going to be like, I don't need that shit. And maybe try to be like, hey, we need a guy to fix things. like it sets up for very intriguing interactions.
Yes,
because I feel like the Joaquin guy's going to put it together because he's pretty smart, and he's going to be like, I feel like it's going to be a question like, hey, why did you hide this body? You know, you don't know us, whatever else, blah, blah, blah. And he's going to do his Rip thing and be like, I don't give a shit. It was just on my land, and I don't need that shit coming back on me. I don't give a fuck what you killed the guy for. That's none of my business. And dude's probably going to be like, hey, you want some work or something like that. And Rip will probably be like, nah, I'm good, considering how shitty they covered everything up. And that could be another way you can get Rip's storyline to intersect with this Joaquin guy, because I think Joaquin is supposed to be the person that Rip's going to eventually clash with, because they both, Joaquin sees like the fixer, so they both seem like the two that are going to butt heads.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, they set up Michael Jai Courtney's too soon, and like we said, we think he's going to come back later. I think Joaquin, though, is going to be the one who's going to butt heads with Rip, because they both have that line of thinking of doing the smart thing, and I could picture Joaquin being like, hey, this guy is dangerous, he's smart, like, we shouldn't underestimate these people. And I think they're going to have a back and forth. I'm really interested to see those two interact. So
it's going to be some high quality television, that's for goddamn sure.
So yeah, episode 2 we gave a 9. Let's do our favorite scene of the episode. God, there's so many scenes to choose from. Like, I think there were 3 scenes. You already know mine. The Ed Harris and the Everett and Beth conversation. That was because personal, got me in the feels. And so I'm calling that my favorite scene because of just the talk of the metal, and like you said, you could see that sage wisdom conversation. He's getting Beth to open up. I love just.
Yeah, so I'm gonna split mine a little bit. Don't start bitching right when I start talking, guy. Like you were just fine 10 seconds ago. Relax. I know you can. Like my favorite individual moment is the back and forth when Beth gets back and says, problem with management. I see you're making friends. That's that one little back and forth there, because like all the scenes with Beth and Rip together are good. They're always good. But my favorite one is grandmother to granddaughter, eat your fucking dinner before it goes cold.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be that good. I thought it was just going to be like, you sit down and I'm going to fucking tell you how it is. But there's actually a back and forth there. And she's like, I don't want to end up like you. So it makes me think, could be a spy.
And also, too, I want to highlight the inverse of that conversation. I'm going to split mine now, because I like the Rip and Carter conversation when he just got dejected. He thinks he wants to pursue Rodeo Girl, as he should, and he's like trying to figure out what the fuck went wrong. And I'm pretty sure he knows this bullshit. She says she has a boyfriend. That was pulled out so fast. It said he was like, what do I do, man? And Rip just looks at him and goes, just listen. And he goes, when you think you're right, just listen. When you think you're wrong, just listen. Even if you know you're right.
I said that one was pretty good. That's probably my second favorite scene.
Yeah, the just listen thing, I would have to say my second favorite scene. So true. All the guys out there watching, you can learn a thing or two. There's just a point where you just fucking listen. So as PB, he's listening. But yeah, so great stuff. Really like it. Episode 2, fucking banger. 9. This one is higher just because there's more. This episode,
yeah, because the story starts to interconnect more,
and it feels like more action, even if it's conversations. I don't know why. This is where I feel like, oh, we're really getting the stride going. We're starting. We have the wife character introduced. So predictions. They're gonna fucking kill her. I just don't. I don't know when. But
interesting.
So, I could see it going two ways. Either they kill her, and somehow she interacts with Rip or them and stuff like that. He winds up getting pissed off, and it kicks off a battle between these two ranches, or the sheriff guy is going to get involved through her. They'll kill her, and that'll bring sheriff guy to the Dutton ranch side of things. I don't know, but somehow I think she's going to be the catalyst. Like, I think there's going to be a point where they do have a conflict. There's a truth, and then something happens and they kill this girl. I feel like that's going to be the thing that causes an actual conflict, because right now it's been all these little testing the waters, especially with Annette Bening or Beulah and Beth. They seem to just be really testing each other. But I seen in the trailer where Beth was there's a scene with Beth and Beulah that was in the trailer where she's like, legacy is important to you, isn't it? Like, it's everything. And she's like, I'm gonna tear it down. And so that to me highlights that something happened that got them meeting face to face, because Beulah's character was like, do you really want to do this? Blah, blah, blah. So there's got to be something that they make a kind of uneasy truth, and then someone breaks it, whether it's on purpose or not on purpose, and it causes things to kick off. And I think that the wife, because of how much they're highlighting her, there's something that's going to happen there. And if we know
the wife of the dead guy,
yeah, I think somehow she's going to.
Is she the wife? I'm not 100% certain that she's the wife.
She's the wife, but they are separated because the way she worded it, she was like, after he had a child with me, then he became faithful. But I think he was off doing his farmhand thing until he found out she was pregnant, and then he was committed to the house. And he's like, because she was saying, no, I know he wouldn't cheat on me. He came home every day. He loved that kid. He was taking care of us. So once again, we got to get more flashbacks on this guy, because he seems pretty pivotal. And that's my only gripe. Like you, it's like, we need to know a little bit more about this guy, because
I don't think we're going to get any flashbacks about the dead guy.
Because he's so integral to what's going on right now, literally kicking things off. So it's kind of weird.
I don't think him as a person is not intricate to the story. Him as a dead body is intricate to the story, because it's what connects Rip to them directly.
And like in Yellowstone, right? The one brother, we only see him in episode 1, and he's brought up a few other times, but we don't really get much about him. We did, however, get one flashback when it was important. So I'm feeling like this is that kind of situation where we won't know much. He's just essentially used to move the plot and get things kicked off. But I would like maybe a flashback just to get an idea of what he was like as a foreman. Why?
I'm not opposed to it. I just don't think it's going to happen if we're in speculation mode.
Okay. So yeah. And like I said, this is a tiny nitpick. There's plenty of characters like this, even in the best shows, where they're just kind of used as a way to kick everything off. They're the catalysts for the situation. And you don't really need to do a deep dive and find out, he had a drinking problem and shit like that. Nothing that's not important. But I still think, like you said, it's very vague. I would have like to at least get a whole episode with him to know why the crew likes him so much, because they seem to have all liked him, especially the young guy.
Okay, I take it back. We might get the flashback of whatever he was doing that made coked out brother think he was checking the books.
Yeah, so because he seemed to have some kind of moral center, and that's why the people he was, because he was the foreman, that's why the people.
I have a feeling it's going to be one of these things where he was checking for a different reason and then found this information.
Yeah. And so, like, like I said, and this is where the writing is so good, and it's so early. You can't tell if maybe this is just a little misstep. They just needed something. They had no plans to really get too elaborate, or if they are setting up for something in the future. Could very well be the case. We just don't know. We're only 2 episodes in. But I'm going to say this writing team is fucking good. So I give them the benefit here and assume that a lot of these 2 episodes is like just a lot of planting these little things, and they're setting up so many very interesting things that I feel they can explore at any time, and that's good writing. When you can see all the
great job of connecting people overtly, and then connecting people without them knowing about it. Like Rip has no idea who put that body out there, who it's connected to. He has no fucking clue. He just wanted to get the fuck off his land.
And that's what I mean with clever writing. With like, even it's more of as an audience, we know what it is, but because of how it's played, it doesn't feel out of place either. Because Rip wouldn't know. He hasn't even had that many. The only interaction he's had with this other
2
place,
workers.
Yeah, and the only interaction he's had with this place was at the gas station, and he didn't even know they were from the rival farm. It was just some guy who was acting like an asshole. So he hasn't even put together that he's in this situation either. And yeah, just really, really great writing, Really, really good stuff. So yeah, man, I think, oh man, we're only at 2 hours and 22 minutes, man. But like, I think
we talked longer than what the TV show is. So I think we're good.
And this shows how good of a show this is. Like, there's so much and so many interesting things to sit here and unpack. And that's when I realized we were also talking about a good show, because when we watch something like Daredevil or The Boys or something like that, I don't know about you, but I feel like there's not a lot of nuance you can get into with those shows. As good as, and it doesn't mean they're not written well. It's just
no. The problem with those type of shows, at least for me, like what I get hung up on, is to dumb it down as much as possible. The power scaling, like how stuff works when you're in a fantasy / sci-fi universe. Anything with superheroes is that you have to be informed of what the rules are. Like, this is how this works. This is what this person can do. Like, watching a TV show that is just real life, like it's meant to be real life. We're not on some alternate Earth or anything like that. There's nothing paranormal happening or anything. I don't have to worry about, does this fucking work out? Not that, because like everybody knows my big gripe with The Mandalorian is how they fucking shot the final scene at 2 different times of day, and the shadows do not face the same direction. Like, that was a physical issue. There's not a lot of physical issues in these, at least couple episodes of, oh, this person should go there, this person should go there. The only thing that I did notice, and I called bullshit on, so obviously they have that fancy fucking trailer that's got hydraulics instead of cranking it by hand for the horses. Yep. They don't pull the fucking light thing out when they drive away. And then it goes, did you see that?
Yes.
And all I was thinking, I was like, every time I fucking drive away with one of those things, it rips the fucking cord out. Because typically,
I wouldn't know about that because I don't use a lot of those.
No, like working on
I did notice
big plug. So you got the big round plug on the back of the truck, and then you also have like that little 4-pronger. So if you got like a tiny trailer, you plug it into the 4-prong one. If you got a big ass trailer, you plug it into the either 7-pin or 7-blade, whatever your configuration is. But on the big one, there's a hook. So on one side of that fucking cylinder, there is just a flat piece of plastic. And then when you lift the cap off of where the plug goes in on the truck, there is a flat piece of plastic. So when you push it all the way in, that little flat piece butts up to each other. So if there's a little bit of tug when you're driving down the road or whatever, it can't just fall out. or if the pins are a little loose, it won't just fall out because that little stopper will stop it. Now, it's totally possible, unlikely because of how fancy their shit is, but it's totally possible that the cover was not on and it just pulled out. Like one of our trucks at work, it had the plug at the back by where the hitch is, but it also had one in the bed on the side. So when you're hooking up your gooseneck, you don't have to run the cord all the way over the fucking tailgate and everything. And the one that was in the bed of the truck where I used to work didn't have that. It just had the little piece of metal that used to be on the cap to hold it closed, like the little spring piece. So you just have to move that little spring piece out of the way, plug it in. Well, if you drove away in that, it'll just yank right out. Like, this is something very fucking stupid that just because I have dealings in real life with them, I was like, you lucky fuckers, you got away with that, not fucking breaking? Fucking broke on me every goddamn time.
Yeah, and see, for me,
but it was real. Like, it's what actually happened there. Like, I watched the truck pull away, it got yanked out, and it was fine-ish from what you can tell from how far away you are. And I was like, okay, well, I don't have to worry about, that's not how the Force works. Wolverine heals faster than that. That's bullshit. No conversations like that for this fucking show.
Yeah, it's like and don't get me wrong, Yellowstone and shows like these do have, as far as action, like how things escalate, one could question the believability in that, depending on how a scene is shot. That's more of where we go into, oh, well, this was kind of like nonsense or this wouldn't happen, but it's more grounded stuff that you're calling a show on this on. And I think that's the big relief. You and me watch a lot of television, and we watch a lot of sci-fi, a lot of superhero stuff. And every once in a while, we like watching grounded things. I noticed this because we were excited to talk about this. It's good sometimes to get a show like this that's more grounded and more of, we're talking about real world locations, even though that town the butcher was at was just made up for the show, whatever. It's still, they still geologically or whatever.
Right. I mean, they film it in Texas, so.
Yeah. So, and they do that shit all the time because the town doesn't want to be named in the show or whatever else. So that's all fine, but this is a grounded show. And it's nice sometimes for us to sit here and talk about, I would even say Reacher to an extent is a grounded show. There's no superhero stuff. You would think fucking Alan Rickson is a superhero.
I mean, the last show that both of us watched that I would say was a grounded show was Memory of a Killer.
Yeah, which we should definitely do a breakdown of that. Don't tell me because I got up to the final episode.
It's so much better than it should be.
Oh, I thought for sure that with that premise, it was like maybe a one season thing. For as good as the season was, I was like, holy fuck, next season is going to be so much better. So much better. It's
holy fuck.
Once again, what a good casting. But see, even that can be kind of fantastical because it's dealing with the world of like hitmen and shit like that. Like it's more grounded than like say a Marvel show, but there's still some things where you got to kind of suspend disbelief because you're in an entirely different world within the real world of assassins.
Yes, that's much closer to being on an alternate Earth than this show is.
yeah. There's a lot more. Whereas a show like Yellowstone or Dutton Ranch, it is very real. There's cowboy shit. They're getting horse and cattle. These are things that really happen. There's like.
Do you think we're going to see more cowboying? Because you see a lot of cowboying in Yellowstone. There's not a lot of cowboying in either of these episodes. Like even the scene at the rodeo was short. You see one person barrel race and one person do the not lassoing, but the cow tackling. I don't know what they call it. I'm sure it has a name.
I think. Are
we going to see more cowboy shit?
Well, when I was even rewatching Yellowstone, it didn't open up with a lot of cowboying because I'm going through the first episode again, and I didn't even realize it just because it becomes so integral later on. It does kind of open up with starting a story off. You have the thing with Casey, you're kind of seeing where everyone is. So I think as we get through, we're going to see more of it because he hasn't even really built up the ranch yet. So I think as we start to get more people on this ranch, and then you got to get their interdynamics and how the ranch is running, then you're going to see more of it. And we don't really know much about Beulah's end, but I think they're going to, because I've got to assume they're going to have the classic, the two ranches going head to head, which means the two people, the sides employed are going to have those guys interacting, because we saw tons of that in Yellowstone where you didn't even see main characters. It was like the people on the ranch going against the other people on the other ranch. Right. So I would like to see more of that. And in order to do that, you're going to have to set that stuff up. So I think we're going to get more. I think right now they're just trying to ease you into what the overall story is going to be. Who are the big players? What are they doing? And then, because yeah, they do sprinkle it through. So it kind of feels like saying, don't worry, guys, for the people who had that dream like me, I live vicariously through this show. Every time I watch Yellowstone, I go, I could go to Montana. I want a horse ranch. Or a bunny ranch? No. No, but yeah, I would definitely like to see more cowboying too, and I think we're gonna get it. It's just we also have to remember too, when we jump into Yellowstone, John Dutton's ranch is already established, but it's sort of a decaying power.
The biggest ranch in the whole fucking state.
Yeah, we're kind of we're getting in on the downfall is sort of what I picture it as. Like we're seeing as it's slowly, he's fighting these battles that he's getting older and he's having a tougher time fighting the outside forces. Whereas here, they're building it up.
Right. It'll be interesting to see if they actually go into the building up of the ranch to try and, because I presume like you want to expand and expand and expand as much as you possibly can all the time. Whereas you are exactly right when you say Yellowstone was about, we are at our peak and we're just trying to keep all of the wolves away.
Yeah. Whereas, and I think, I'll be honest with you, this is more exciting, more intriguing, because I'm kind of excited because now you get to see the people as they're coming in. And you're getting to see, before we were dropped in, and these people are already established, like Lloyd, everybody knew all these characters are already.
Even like, I presume John Dutton is the person that got the ranch to its peak, but it had to have been damn close to it when he got it from his father.
So we never got to see that building up, and that will make more interesting conflicts, because as they start to get more prominence, because that's going to also conflict with Beulah, because she seems like the type who doesn't want any, like we said, she's trying to strangle and then expand out. So it also makes it interesting, because now she's going to see this little outfit that starts to get bigger, and that can make for even better conflicts, because eventually Beth is naturally going to have to expand. She's already looking to do that. And that's going to mean direct conflict as well. She's going to have to get more people and build connections. So, and it'll be interesting to see for me how she goes about setting things up that is different from her father. Like, is she going to pay off a sheriff? Is she going to get a state official? And she knows her father's playbook. So it's going to be interesting to see if she uses some of those tactics when she's setting up, or they're setting up their ranch, because Rip's not going to deal with any of that shit. He's just a cowboy and fixer and kill someone that they got to be killed, but he doesn't have the mind for that. So I think a lot of the political and the maneuvering, we're going to see more on Beth's side of the story, and that'll be interested to see who is she going to make friends with, who is she going to, because the gist that I got when she was talking to Ed Harris and all of the people in the bar and the things like that, they don't seem to like Beulah very much. Like,
not really.
Like in that bar, if you look at that scene, we don't.
I mean, her granddaughter doesn't even like her.
So I could imagine Beth starting to maybe rally up these other businesses or get people, because even the people who owned it before her seemed to be good with the town, because everybody knew that ranch. And that's how she won over Ed Harris, because he knew the people who ran the ranch before. So I feel like they're going to build a rapport with the town, where Beulah doesn't give a shit about the town, clearly, and they don't fucking like her. So it's very interesting. It's like John in reverse. Like, we're seeing the power getting built up, and eventually they're going to clash because you can only have. It brings me back to a speech that John had when he was talking about that with rivals and stuff, and he was like, at the end of the day, we knew there could be only one person in control of the lands, and part of it is you fight for what's yours. That whole speech he had, but it was basically about like, you could respect the other person, but at the end of the day, when you have these two powerful people or strong-willed people, there's only going to be room for one. You don't get to the top by being nice. Everybody thinks, especially in the society we have now, everybody thinks, oh, you shake hands. That's not how the business world works. And even the ranchers know that. Like, John knew that. Like, you have to get your hands dirty to keep what you have. So
we'll see how dirty
Beth gets her
hands. Oh, you said Beth, I said Rip. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, no, because right now I'm doing it as Beth is very much the John in this situation, but slightly different style.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see if Beth uses any of her contacts financially to try and take over stuff.
Because John's approach was, like you said, when you jumped to Rip, John's approach was a mixture of kind of like Rip and Beth. He knew when to play the politics, but then he also knew to say, fuck it, just deal with it. Whereas Beth is always fucking conniving. She will fucking take everything you have and then fuck you. Whereas John's very upfront about what he's going to do. Beth kind of just like sneaks in and takes, we've seen so many times where, especially that one season with the rich guy where she was just fucking buying all the shares and shit before he knew what was happening. And I'm very interested to see if she's going to employ some of those tactics and start getting land and businesses and stuff that the other lady is looking for. It'll be interesting. But all this to say, man, I'm fucking here for it. What day does this come on? Because you had to tell me. I did not even know the day.
Pretty sure it's a Friday show, which is weird.
Hey, but that's good for us for Mondays because we got nervous. We were like, oh, we don't have Mall anymore. What are we going to do? And here comes another show for us.
Okay, so I wasn't feeling good or else we would have done this review way sooner. This review needs to be done the day after the show. We will have a higher likelihood of people watching our review if we do it the day after the show. I mean, in reality, being that it's on at a regular time, not fucking 2 or 3 in the fucking morning. We could technically do the review right after the show if we both watched it right away. But I did see an ad for a show that's going to be starting shortly. Guess what it's called?
What is it called?
Spider Noir.
Oh, that's right. We
very soon, does it not?
Yes. Oh, good thing you remind
me.
I'm going to be fucking covering.
Says what today's Tuesday?
Yeah.
So yeah, it says 3 days. So I'm pretty sure it's every.
No,
Friday.
Today's Monday.
It's only Monday?
Isn't it? No, today's Tuesday. Oh fuck. It is Tuesday. You're right. It's Tuesday because tomorrow's Wednesday. Today's
going to be a Friday. So let's look up the Spider Noir.
Okay.
Hilarious. So on TV Time, it asks you the question. It says, what interests you most about this show? Your choices are the cast, the premise, the creators, the network/platform, the franchise or universe, and other. For Spider Noir, 79% of people are watching the show, mostly because of the franchise or universe. I'm watching the show for the cast.
I'm watching it, obviously, for the only thing that matters.
I don't know. Like, I understand that it's supposed to be like a Marvel thing, but it's not going to be connected to anything. I mean, at best, we're going to have him show up the way that he did in fucking Flash. Okay, it says Spider Noir starts in 8 days.
Yep, May 27th.
They're releasing every episode together?
Yep.
So we're going to have to watch the whole fucking thing?
Yep.
How long are these episodes?
I'm going to guess like 40 minutes.
Do you even... It says it's on... I thought it was a Prime show.
It is MGM, but that's part of Prime.
Well, yeah, but not everything that's on MGM Plus is in Prime for free.
If you go under my thing, it is.
MGM Plus is its own little add-on. What?
If you go on my thing, you can see it. That's no problem. I got MGM Plus.
You do not have MGM Plus right now.
Huh?
You do not have MGM Plus right now. You have Stars, Fox One, HBO Max, Paramount Plus, Apple TV, AMC Plus, Crunchyroll, Movie Sphere, and Monsters and Nightmares.
Oh, okay. Well, May 27th, I'll have MGM Plus because...
Well, let's see what it says. Spider Noir is a live-action superhero series premiering May 27th, streaming on the platform formerly known as Epix. I didn't know it used to be called that. I knew Epix used to be a thing, but I didn't know that they changed their name from Epix to MGM Plus. How fucking retarded.
It's because MGM brought them out to have their own streaming platform. Because everybody needs a streaming platform. But it says it's being produced by Amazon Studios. So is it going to appear as just a Prime, or do you need the MGM Plus? Really confusing.
Oh, this one. So when I put Spider Noir, it said MGM Plus. I put Spider Noir on Prime, and the AI is telling me the live-action Spider Noir series starring Nicolas Cage as a 1930s down-on-his-luck private eye premieres on Prime Video on May 27th. All episodes of the first season of the... There's going to be more than one season?
From what I heard, yeah, they're pretty confident.
Viewers can choose to watch the entire series in either black and white or true hue.
I'm going to do black and white because I feel like that's how you should watch it. I was looking at the...
Good, I'm going to watch it in true hue because fuck black and white.
Okay, so we'll have two different perspectives. I just feel because it's Spider Noir and how it's shot, it appears to me to be specifically shot for the experience of black and white. But for people who...
Cool. Let's wrap this up so I can go take a piss.
Okay, yeah, and I gotta go and make sure the lady's alive because she wasn't feeling too well. So, anyways, great stuff. Really had a great time. This was really fun. Can't wait to do a review. I guess we'll shoot for Friday, maybe after the episode. So it's fresh.
Well, I mean, are we not reviewing The Boys tomorrow? Doesn't that come out?
Oh, that's right. And don't miss it. Will the final episode land? Will they land the plane?
No. It's going to crash just like it did in season 1.
Only worse.
Way worse.
Because our bodies are going to be screaming. But there's so many theories, and I'm not going to go over the leaks because that's just shitty. But we talked off air about it, and from how it's sounding, this ain't going to be good, man. It's not going to be good. I'm hoping we could be as excited as we were to talk about this show, but I have a feeling it's going to be a different conversation than this show. It's going to be a sad, sad conversation. Also, too, we got to send a link to Justin. I'm sure it's going to be funny getting his perspective. I know. And we're also going to wrap up the series as well. So it's not just going to be the last episode. We will be going over the season as a whole and all of the ways to which they fucked up after the first episode. Because I thought the first episode was strong, and then it got progressively worse. And hopefully we can bookend it where we have a good ending so we are not left with a bad taste in our mouth. You know? But I told you there was another spinoff. I couldn't think of what it was. It wasn't Vought Rising. It's Vought New Mexico. Yeah, or Boys Mexico. So I told you there was a second spinoff. I just named the wrong one. It's Mexico, and that's why I had that theory that some Soldier Boy is going to be carried over. That's what it looks like. They are setting up, and who gives a shit about the Boys Mexico? I'm not fucking like, just off the title, I can tell where they're going with this.
Dude, I tell you what, this is not going to be like because it is a sequel and it is happening directly afterwards. After they fail to land the plane, I'm not watching The Boys Mexico. Like,
neither am I.
The finale has to be good for me to watch. Now, being that it's a prequel, I will watch Vought Rising.
Yeah, because that doesn't affect the time. It's not affecting. Let me put it this way: it's not affecting decisions made in the final per se, because you could still have Soldier Boy or whatever. It's a prequel, so it doesn't affect this story. But what does affect what's going to happen in this final is a literal sequel that nobody asked for, where you promised us, right? They've been marketing the shit that this is the end, this is it, blah, blah, blah. And then what? We didn't know about this until like damn near episode 7. All of a sudden, oh, we've got the Boys Mexico. Well, then what the fuck does that mean for the final? And they shoot these things months, years in advance. So you're telling me they knew years ago, and it's probably a fucking Amazon thing. And you now, to me, that means you fucked the final because, oh, well, now we can't kill this character so they can make a cameo. We can't kill this character so they can make a cameo. That's what what Boys New Mexico is going to be, is all fucking cameos. And they're going to probably leave shit hanging to be like, oh, you want to see this story get resolved? Watch, but no, fuck you. I'm not going to watch it. And you killed. Now, here's the thing. And PB, we talked about this. I wasn't a fan of Generation V's second season as much as some people. I didn't think it was bad. I just thought the end of the season was not good. I didn't think it brought it down or everything, but I wanted to see what would happen. So you kill Gen V, completely fucking get rid of the storyline. We get no fucking resolution to do the fucking Boys New Mexico. And then what? They're going to put Gen V characters in there?
I don't know.
Because
I'm
obviously
I'm not going to watch it, and we'll know that in 12 hours.
So 12 hours from now, either you're going to get a rant from us two, or
I have a feeling I will not be able to go to sleep, and I'm going to watch the episode, and then the woman will wake up tomorrow, and it's her day off, and she's going to watch the episode. Now I'm going to be like, okay, now you're going to listen to me bitch about it for 8 hours. Sorry, this is not a good day to have off for you.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's definitely coming tomorrow.
Well, the second time I watch through it, I'll be able to make a note or two.
And I'm gonna watch it twice too. To keep it fresh.
We're almost done streaming. Just chill.
All right. So, anyways, thank you everybody for watching. That was our cue. The little man was like, "Wrap this shit up." He's like, you need to wrap it up. I need to get Dad's attention.
Do it. Say the thing.
So,
who've I been watching?
Always, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you all for coming in. I will have a spoiler review because there's been enough time for the movie. I will be doing a spoiler review of the Obsession, so check that out. You can comment what you think the themes are as far as controlling and the nice guy tropes and crazy exes, all that we'll talk about in that review. And check out tomorrow, The Boys, the final episode. Here we go. And as always, remember, there is only one rule here in the Phantom Zone. What is it, little baby?
Kneel before the cuteness.